think we're all set. We're good to go. Chris is back there. He's got all those Pelican cases of all that swag unloaded, Yeah. Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Chris, did you make it over to the Magpul display?
We did not. We walked by it. It's
all right. All right, we'll go and fire it up. So, guys, I think we're live right now. We had a delay last week, and the timer, like the podcast ran for like 30 seconds before it showed up on the YouTube side. So I have no idea if you guys can even hear me at all right now. But let's go ahead and get started. It says we're live. It says we got 11 people currently watching right now. So let's see. I want to welcome everybody to Caliber Corner Season 5, episode number 266. And today we are talking about SHOT Show 2023. We're joined with the very, very highly esteemed Chris from the 740, tactical shooter, trainer. I'm pushing a little bit far, but Chris is with us. He took a red-eye flight back early just to join us this morning because he cares, and he's with us to talk to us about his experiences at SHOT Show 2023. But before that happens, let's go ahead and let the amazing panel that's with us today introduce themselves. So, Rich, we're going to start off with you. Hey, Rich, how's everything going today? You good?
Yeah, not doing too bad today.
What you been up to, man? What's going on?
Yeah, not too much of anything, really.
Taking it easy, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't one of the privileged ones that got to go to SHOT, so,
Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired, right? Shots fired. So question for you here, Rich. There is a good SHOT Show competitor coming up. It's what is it again? The Great American
Outdoor Show.
Great American Outdoor Show. So where is that? When is that? And what happens when you go there?
That is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in 2 weeks from today.
Sounds good. Pretty big event, huh? Few people show up for it?
Yeah, there's a few people that show up for that.
Yeah.
But that one is open to the public, so if you're in the Harrisburg area or plan to be in the Harrisburg area, stop over and check it out.
Sounds good. And you've got a couple shows you do. You got some podcasts yourself. Where is it? What is it? And when can we catch it?
Let's see. Saturday nights at 8:05 p.m. Eastern, because we got to do the old TBS time and tribute to the old NWA wrestling over there.
Absolutely.
We do the wrestling show every week on this. I almost said This Week Unloaded, but no, that's the other podcast.
Yeah.
on the Wrestling Unloaded channel. And then on Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m., both times Eastern, by the way, we do This Week Unloaded on the Unloaded Media channel, which is a general firearms, politics, and whatever the hell else we come up with conversation.
I like that. You need to put that on a T-shirt, man. That's a good description of it. So it's like, expect the unexpected when you're over on that podcast. Right?
Oh yeah, we've had discussions about cars powered by toilets before. So
dude, that's amazing. I mean, the stuff we come up with. It's the origin of AA batteries and why Velcro is called Velcro. I mean, you never know what the discussion's going to run into when you put a bunch of middle-aged dudes together and sit around and chat. So
yeah,
good stuff.
I like to think of it as the conversation you have at the local bar without the alcohol being involved.
Oh, wow. That's pretty dynamic. So you guys definitely need to check it out, man. I think you'll enjoy it. Good stuff. So maybe we'll get some links out there for people to go check out the Unloaded Media channel, and we'll make it happen. So sounds good. All right. Also joining us, we got Single Shot. What's going on, man? Where are you at? What are you doing? Are you at home just relaxing right now? Is that what you're doing right now? Because I know you're retired, so obviously you got all this free time, right?
Yeah, I wish I had the free time.
There you go, man.
No, I'm in en route back down to Muncie, Indiana. I got on my main run here, so
cool.
We'll be running the big truck until I can't pass a physical. When I can't pass a physical, that's it. Full retirement kicks in, and that's it.
There you go. Then you just drive the little truck doing like Grubhub deliveries and Uber. Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't have time to do a blasted thing there at the house. I got so much of the nasty weather there lately, and got more moving in. I just about got the driveway halfway cleared out.
Well, we sent everything Easter way, so you are welcome, sir. It took about 5 days to get there, but she made it, so yeah.
I don't mind it if it's all snow.
Yeah.
But lately we've been getting rain and then snow or vice versa on top of it, and freezes up, changes into ice. It's a heck of a mess.
Oh, I bet.
And
I bet that's not fun.
I'm really struggling to keep that driveway clear enough to be able to utilize it.
Gotta get that snowblower out, man. That and a lot of salt. Man.
Oh,
That's what it takes bags and bags of that fun stuff. So, yeah.
Doing that, but the biggest issue with that thing won't move ice.
No. No, at that point, it's pretty much you just got to let nature run its course. So,
yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, hey, dude, I appreciate having you with us. Thanks for joining us. And it's going to be a fun discussion. So, you guys are on the panel. If you have any questions, let us know. Those of you out there watching on the YouTube side, we'll give you a holler out here in a little bit. We got a lot of housekeeping and a lot of announcements to make before we get into the discussion, but we'll keep things rolling here. But anybody watching on the YouTube side, you got questions for Chris, start throwing them out there if you're curious about SHOT Show 2023, and we'll go from there. Hillbilly Up, American Hillbilly's joining us this morning from the beautiful state of Missouri. How you doing, man? You good?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, you darn right I'm good.
There you go. There you go. What you been up to, man? What's going on?
Well, got delayed a little bit on the goat yoga this morning. It's kind of nasty outside. So,
well, those goats, they don't like it when it's icy and slick out because they can't, they have enough hard of time trying to keep their balance when they walk over you, much less trying to have an unstable surface for them to launch from. So, but goat yoga is the way of the future. I really think it's going to take off and become mainstream. There's going to be just franchises all right next to Starbucks is everywhere. They're going to have, Goat Yoga Inc. So, yep. There's what do you got coming up on your channel for content, man? You've been working on any videos? Can you give us a little teaser, a little sneak peek about what's coming our way here?
Yeah, I literally posted a short yesterday. I mean, go over and check it out after the show. I mean, it's called Save the World. So you might possibly be able to save the world if you watch this short.
One less can
of hard seltzer. Anybody knows me, I'm
brother.
not serious at all, but
anyway. That's right, man. Well, I'm glad to have you here, guys. Make sure you check out the Hillbilly Up American Hillbilly channel. Lots of great content, lots of fun stuff. You try to keep it family friendly, right? I mean, when you put your content out there, you try to keep it so anybody can sit down and watch it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, unless somebody gets offended of me shooting White Claw or hard seltzer. I mean,
and if they do, they don't deserve to watch your channel anyway. They can go somewhere else.
Warning that I need.
They can go watch goat yoga lessons if they feel that strongly about it. So that's right.
But yeah, we got some videos that's coming up and everything. So everything's great. Thanks for having me here. I'm all excited to hear about Chris's adventure. Ooh. I mean, it's got to be cool. So exciting. I mean, look at him. He is stoked.
I got a page full of questions for the man. We'll let him share here in a little bit. So, all right, man. Appreciate having you here.
I just want to say, if people get offended by Hillbilly, they damn sure don't want to watch my channel.
That's right. They're offended by we don't cater to the tight jean White Claw drinking man button crowd. I mean, not that you can't be saved and can't be converted, but until you start wearing cargo pants, I can't talk to you. So yeah, there we go. All right, Relax Fit is my middle name. So all right, so also joining us, we got the one, the only, the highly esteemed Chris from the 740. Like I said, he jumped on his G6 jet, flew overnight to get back home just to be here this morning. He's going on like no sleep for 72 hours. Chris, how you doing today, man? How you doing? Are you good?
I got my monster. We'll be all right.
Got your monster ready to go. There you go. All right, man. I was wondering if you're going to be getting some energy drinks on standby. So yeah. Oh man. So how's your morning going? Just a lot to take in, huh?
It was. That was my first SHOT Show, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever done, but I mean, it was just mentally and physically exhausting.
That's what everybody says, man. You got these ideas of what you think it's going to be, and then you realize it's multiple stories and millions of square feet and thousands of vendors. And you're like, oh my God, where do I begin? Yeah.
Cool. It's hard to explain to people how big it is until you actually see it. It's just huge.
Before we get into discussion, Chris, tell us about your channel. Tell us about your show that Hillbilly's been filling in for you on. So, he's expecting the Pelican.
Thank you, Hillbilly, for keeping it going for a couple of weeks.
He did a good job. He, as a substitute host, he did a fantastic job. So, yep.
Well, I figured you'd be mad at me. You evidently ain't watched one of them yet.
Nah, they were good. They were good shows, man. They were a lot of fun, and it kept your audience engaged and stuff. And I thought that was a good thing. So, so Chris, when do you have your podcast for people that want to catch it? When is it?
We'll be back Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna have the last show I did was SHOT Show first timers, and it was all of us that were going out for the first time. So we're gonna have them all come back. We'll have She Fires on there, 2A We Stand. Nick from Milsurp Duo was out there, and I can't praise that man enough. What he helped me do on range day. Quest for a Perfect Load will be on Range Bros TV. So we'll have a whole group of people again coming back on Wednesday night that just share their experience going out for the first time. So
awesome. Yeah. Cool, man. So guys, make sure you check out that show. It's going to be good stuff. A couple announcements I want to make. First of all, we are still taking design suggestions for Thunder on the Prairie 2023. If you don't know what that is, just type in Thunder on the Prairie 2022, space Travis B11. You'll find the video. We're having a contest. It ends on February 1st, and we need some logos, some design ideas for stickers and patches and T-shirts and stuff we can have made for Thunder on the Prairie 2023, which was a big gathering of friends and YouTubers that got together. We did a bunch of shooting. A bunch of people got a chance to film videos. A lot of bonding took place. A lot of networking happened. It was a really fun event. It takes place at Nebraska Shooters in Firth, Nebraska. And it was a good time. It was a good time. So I kind of, if you go watch my video on my channel, I do talk about like what my idea of what a cool logo would be, but you can submit any design you want to. And then Defense Dad and I are going to choose like the top 3. We'll have a number 1 that for sure is going to be the sticker and patch. And then we'll have some honorable mentions, or maybe we'll just get stickers made out of the top 3. And I'm going to send some gifts out. Some surprise packages out to people that win. So you're going to get some sort of reward. Remember, if you do submit a design, the only thing I ask is if you let us use it, that we get the full rights to it. I'm just saying that like any revenue that comes from sticker sales or patch sales, again, we usually lose money on that stuff anyway, but any revenue that comes from it, it would just be a design that would just kind of become our intellectual property. So that's the only thing I ask, because there are some really cool designs I think that would look sweet on T-shirts and stuff like that. Because right now my Spreadshirt shop just has my logo on it, and that's it. I'd like to put some other designs out there. And I don't sell a lot of merch at all. I'm going to be honest with you. I probably sold 1 T-shirt in the last year. But to kind of get some Thunder on the Prairie shirts out there, I think that would be kind of cool. And going through Spreadshirt, something we're going to do. Also, if you are in Nebraska this weekend, it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let me just share the screen with you real quick. We have the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo coming up, which is a really cool event. It's relatively inexpensive to get into. You got companies like Cabela's and Shields. There's going to be some firearms companies that'll be there. Anything that has to do with hunting, the outdoors, any products that you associate with hunting, not just deer, but just a little bit of everything. You will find there. They've got a concert that's going on January 21st at 9 o'clock at night. They're going to have a church service Sunday morning for people that want to go. They're having a big buck contest. They're having all kinds of just different things you can do. And you can go for $12 to get in. Kids that are 6 to 15 or $6. Veterans, active military and veterans get half price all weekend. Last night they had half off for ladies' night. 5 and under get in for free. And I went to it last year. And if you do go there, make sure you go check out the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association booth where Sandhills is currently at. And he's passing out literature and raising awareness about LB 77, which is our constitutional carry bill, which we are hoping we can get passed this year. We're hoping that it happens. And he's got a really good spot with the table, passing out literature, answering people's questions. John does a wonderful job, just having discussions with people. And so that's going on this weekend. So make sure you check it out. And then also we've got Thunder on the Prairie 2023. That's going to happen in June, the first week in June. It's June 3rd and June 4th, I believe, of 2023 at Nebraska Shooters in Firth, Nebraska. And if you just look up Thunder on the Prairie 2022, there are a few other events out there that have that same name. There's like a Harley rally and then something with horses that use the same name. But if you go to my channel and look it up, you can see what that event was all about. And I'm not really going to talk about it much now because I've mentioned it a million times. But if you want to be able to film some content for your YouTube channel or hang out with some of the YouTubers you see here or some of the friends you might have online in our community, they may be there. We also have a chance to just shoot a bunch of different guns, run a bunch of different drills, just sit around and just have a lot of fun. And if you're interested in that, it's going to be a 2-day event. One day is going to be a range day, and the next day is going to be filming time with spots where gun tubers can go film and walk around on the range and shoot safely. A lot of things they might not be able to do back home. So anyway, that's going to be coming up first week in June. Man, I think that's about it. I hope so. But just a lot of cool stuff going on this weekend. I've got new content that will be coming out this Wednesday. I've got a couple of videos I posted on Patreon. So you guys can support me over on Travis P11 over at patreon.com if you're interested. But okay, shout out on the YouTube side, and then Chris, we're going to start with you. So YNH is out there, Mike is watching, New York Outcast, Tactical Fud, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guys out there, Hillbilly Ups out there, Chris Winzet's out there also. New York Outcast is in the house. Sam of Anarchy 92, Zinger's watching. Stormin Norman Gunworks into his house. Tommy Gunn's watching from up in Canada. Scott 79's with us this morning. Man, we got a lot of people joining in today. George Ghost is out there also. Tactical Fud, Young Gun 995 is watching. Bjorn's out there today. Ozzy Orsborn in the house. And I'll be scanning the chat here to see if you guys have posted any questions for Chris as we take him through some of the questions I've prepared for him. Mountain View's out there watching today. Rich White's out there and over here. I'm out there apparently and over here. And Daryl Watts is watching. So, Chris, just before I get into the questions, how was it for you? What'd you do? Was it everything you thought it would be and more? All right, so just share with me. Just begin to decompress with us. What is SHOT Show? Well, first of all, what is SHOT Show 23 for people that don't know? What is it?
So it's a big trade show. It's just as much for buyers that are wanting to buy new product to sell in their stores, distributors, just as much as it is the media there. So you'll have, when you're filming, you got to be really mindful of who's buying stuff, because they want the media there, they want the attention, but they're obviously there to make money. So when you go up, everybody wears a badge. Media all has a green badge or a green bar on theirs. So the buyers have a different color. So if you go up to a booth, you just don't want to grab a gun and start, if someone's standing there, because they're a potential buyer that's could be buying hundreds or thousands of these guns from them. So once you had that down, it was pretty easy. Like once they got out of the way, then, you could grab and start filming. So, which this is all stuff I had to figure out on the fly, being the first time there. But it's, there's different levels. So you have your basement, which is like all your newer upstart companies or companies that are established, but they're smaller, they're not rolling revenue over, say, like Beretta or somebody like that. And then you have your main floor where all your big companies are. So that's where you're going to find Holosun and Beretta, FN, on and on. And then you go across the bridge to another, over to Caesar's Forum. And then there's a whole other part of SHOT Show over there, which is kind of your middle of the road companies. They're big established companies, but not as big as what the companies are on the second floor on the main stage. So
now the range day, they had transportation for you guys to get out there, or you could get a bus?
Yeah, they do. And it's wow. I mean, I'll have video up on all this. Mm-hmm. I worked my butt off while I was there, so I'm going to guess I'm going to have somewhere between 20 and 25 content videos, and I've probably got enough to make 50, 60 shorts. The gun range was just unreal. It's almost a 45-minute bus ride out of Vegas. They just take you right out into the middle of the desert. I can't imagine how many days.
Range? Is it a private range that you guys go to, or is it land that SHOT Show owns? I'm kind of curious, because is it like a club that leases out the land for the weekend or something, or what is it?
I would assume that was a question that I didn't really get a straight answer on, but I do believe it is an actual gun range. But yeah, especially when you're from Ohio and you're shooting out in the desert into the mountains and stuff, it was really cool. Yeah, I can't imagine how many days it took them to set it up. There's an action, and it's all broke into sections. You have all your handguns in one area. They have the long range shooting. I think they had some targets set out at like 500 yards.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the range footage already from. I've seen it year after year, and it looks like a really cool place to shoot. Aside from the fact that it's windy and the weather never cooperates, it's a lot like central Nebraska where I used to live. It's windy and cold constantly, and there's never good sunlight. Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. Let's just get this out there. What was one of the highlights from the trip? What was the coolest thing that you got to do, or one of the coolest things that you saw while you were there?
Well, Monday was range day, so that's your very first day there. my favorite guns that I shot out there, I'm going to go with Zenith Firearms was there. So they're the ones with all the MP5 clones.
They're making stuff in the USA now. So people know they're kind of getting away from the Turkish import thing. They're making them stateside, I believe, from what I've been told, a lot of their guns now. Yeah.
Yeah, we ran one of their MP5, the pistol. Then we ran the carbine. That was probably one of my favorite carbine rifles that I shot there. Probably and I'm not a wheel gun guy by any means, but my favorite revolver I shot out there would be the new Taurus 460 Raging Hunter with the 10-inch barrel and the big muzzle brake on it.
My God, the thing looks like something from Mad Max. It's got all this stuff on it. There's like the big, compensator on the end of it and like some box attached to it and stuff. And it's like, what is that thing? Yeah.
I locked my grip down on that and I pulled the trigger and I'm like, it felt like shooting a 357. It was that muzzle brake took away so much of the the semi-auto handguns, which we'll end up getting into this. Even though it did fail on me, the Rock Island 5.0 is definitely going to be one of the guns. I'm still going to buy it, even though it failed on me out there.
Just one time though, right? Out of the 5 shots you took, you'd had trouble with one.
It was, and I put that short up right away. I was trying to put shorts up while I was in Vegas, but I couldn't really create content. I mean, it was hard for me to get the time to.
You'd have to have a second video editing, pushing the video content out. You'd have to hand that memory card off to somebody to go run up to the room and go run the video and then run it back. It'd be, well, hey, now we know what to have your kid do next year.
Yeah.
Just put them in the
I ended up going to the Rock Island booth on Thursday. And I was talking to the guy out there, and they, that gun had thousands and thousands of rounds through it when I was out there.
And the other thing was, it was in the environment.
Yeah. It was very cold out there. It wasn't your typical day in Vegas. It was raining off and on all day. So there was a lot of things going on there with the gun. And I did not shoot the gun till probably 12:30 in the afternoon. So they started shooting at 8 o'clock, 8:15 in the morning. So that gun, God knows how many thousands of rounds it had on it by then.
Yeah, and again, this is they've barely gotten any exam. These are just like final kind of prototypes or almost like pre-production models that are going out to all these companies and all these people. So they still can work out a few bugs if they need to before they actually ship the firearm. Real quick, Chris, let's get you a couple questions, then we'll come back to the discussion here. New York Outcast wants to know if everybody's getting sick from like years before. Anytime you have that many people in one place, if there's some sort of flu or cold, there's always that SHOT Show flu or whatever they call it that goes around. I'd imagine that. What's that? The crud?
The SHOT Show crud.
The SHOT Show crud. Yeah, that's probably going to be out there. Defense Dad's out there. He says, I see gun people. I do too. Tommy Gunn said the lever action AR-15, and I got that tab ready to go. We'll look at it later on, but Bond Arms showed off a lever action AR-15 lower that accepts any AR-15 upper. So to me, the prospect of a lever action 450 Bushmaster just sounds freaking sweet. I'm sure they already have it, but the fact I can just slap an upper on there for $250 and making it whatever, that really has my interest. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. On this one, Chris, did you get a chance to talk to High Point?
I did not.
Of course, you can just go across the street and go visit their factory, but yeah.
That did kind of play a factor in it. I did end up leaving range day early. By the time the second rain came in, I was just ready to get back to the hotel. But I am planning on, because I actually have a friend that's tied in with High Point. So I'm going to try to set up actually go over there maybe and do some filming over there. And hopefully Daniel and I can set up a time. Maybe we can actually even take them to the range and shoot them.
So I'm hearing the 10mm, the JXP10. I've been hearing February is when they're going to ship. They're doing pre-sales right now, like on sportsmansguide.com or whatever. The JXP10. Did anybody mention when that's going to be hitting the market at all? Have you heard anybody talking about it?
I did not. I see Snobs out there. Maybe he was with me out there all week too. So maybe Snob spent some time over there and can answer some of Fluffy's questions on that. So
yeah, Kentucky Gun Company did a video on the JXP10. They said they'd be shipping very soon. They're already ready to go. There's no final tweaks. They're already boxed up and ready to ship. So they're doing pre-orders right now. So it might take a little while, but you won't have any trouble finding one. Now locally, I don't know, because honestly around here we don't have a lot of people that sell High Point pistols. just like new. I mean, Cabela's actually carries them. They carry the whole line. But a lot of places around here, I'd have to travel quite a ways to get one. So I'm probably just going to order one online. In fact, I'm going to buy another box of 10 millimeter ammo today. I've got another box at home or here at home. So I'm going to get two so I can start stocking up on 10 millimeters. So when I get the JXP 10 and the 10 millimeter carbine, I'll be all set to go. New York Outcast has a very important question. And this is one I was curious about. He says, let's cut to the chase, Chris. Who got a date with the Swamp Fox chick? She was walking arm in arm with Gizzard Gary, wasn't she, on the way out of there? Isn't that what was going on?
Yeah. The Swamp Fox chick was not even there. And it was funny. Swamp Fox was the very first interview I did.
How I missed this one. I got to go back and watch the video because I try to watch as much content as I could on it. But yeah.
Well, we actually stumbled on their booth. We were walking down an aisle, and I assumed Swamp Fox was going to be up on the main floor, but they weren't. They were down in the basement, and we stumbled on their booth, and they had a new red dot. Well, no, it's Prism actually. You got a new Prism coming out, and it's got a redesigned reticle in it. It's really nice. It's called the Raider. I believe it's coming out in April. The guy just did a quick minute and a half, 2 minute spiel on it. I did not know the Sentinel 2 was there until after I did my interview, and I just couldn't find the time to go back and talk about it. But Obi, Obnoxious Ones, if you guys want to check out, he did a really, really good video on the Sentinel and the Raider from Swamp Fox.
I'm going to say right now, just a compliment to the people you see commenting on the YouTube video right now, like Snob and Obnoxious One and Gizzard Gary, Chris, you too. You guys have done a wonderful job. The content you're putting out, the quality of the audio and the video, it's matching what I'm seeing from the bigger channels. And it's kind of funny is a lot of the larger channels, I'm not really seeing videos from them at all. In fact, a lot of larger channels said they wouldn't go because the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Like they don't get out of it, probably because they already have those network connections anyway. So all they got to do is make a phone call and that optic shows up or that gun shows up, the bigger channels. But it is cool. You guys did a wonderful job just putting that information out there. And like I've said before, YouTube is my primary source of entertainment for content consumption, shows I watch, podcasts and stuff. And I was really happy. Gary did a great job on the Taurus overview, the Taurus booth. He went over there and showed them off. And so, I was pretty happy with what I saw. So hats off to you guys for that. Storm and Norman Gunworks says, I've been MIA for a while, working a new gig, working with individuals with developmental disabilities, and I enjoy what I do. Dude, that's awesome, man. Thank you for doing what you do, Storm and Norman. You're a good guy. I'm glad to have you out here watching too. Let's just see if we have any more questions, and then we'll go on with the discussion here. Let's see. So, Chris, would you say that overall? Oh yeah, Ozzy Ellersborn said the Beretta 80X Cheetah. I'll show that off here in a little bit too. They're redoing the Beretta 84 380. They're remaking it into a modern interpretation of it. It's Italian made. And I do have one criticism about what I saw. This is just me complaining as a poor, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. So Chris, would you say that the vendors, like if you just waited your turn, the representatives, were they all pretty cool to chat with you, or did they feel like they didn't want to give you the time of day?
No, it was the exact opposite. And I was really shocked. I did not have an appointment with them or anything, but, and I know this question is going to come up today because one of the hottest guns there was the Oracle 2311. I walked over to their booth late on Thursday.
Was that Staccato or who was that? What company was it?
Well, they're a new company called Oracle.
Okay. All right.
So they're coming out with a 2311, but it runs on the SIG 320 mags.
Okay.
And they were just super nice. I went over there. The guys, I was looking at the gun. We were kind of doing some B-roll on it, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do an interview? You want to talk about it?" So I slung a mic on him, and we started talking. Yeah, as long as you didn't cut anybody off, like I said, when they were trying to sell to a buyer, they were more than. It didn't matter if it was the biggest company or one of the small companies. They all were very receptive to media.
We're kind of that 3/4 middleman for the firearms industry, and maybe a lot of gun companies don't realize this. Like, okay, you've got the company, you've got the vendor distributor that's going to make the purchase, and then there's channels like us that push their product, promote their product, show off their product, sell their product, and don't ask for anything in return. Sometimes there are channels that get kickbacks and get paid for reviews and stuff, but it's good that they give you that time of day because I think we are a very important part of what they do. if I get 300,000 views on a Taurus G3 video, I can guarantee you what I said about that gun and how I show it shooting has a lot to do with sales that indirectly. So that, I mean, I'm not saying that they need to respect us at all. And, you know, maybe they just see us as cannon fodder they got to sift through to make their sales and stuff. But I think they need to understand that online media is the future. I mean, print media is still around, but what we say and what we show, you know, those big channels and small channels that get thousands and thousands of views, those are all potential sales for those companies. Maybe they don't care, but I'm glad they recognize that. So you didn't really just get turned down by anybody that you walked up to. And you had the media badge. So they knew you were somebody that has an online presence. So hopefully their reps would respect that and give you the time of day, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then, so tell us a little bit, did you get a chance to go talk to Monstrum?
I did. That was,
okay.
And a funny story about Monstrum. Right after range day, I went out to the very front of the Venetian, you know, where the main show is.
Yeah.
I was sitting there waiting on my Uber to come pick me up, take me back to the link. And I heard somebody keep yelling, Chris. And I turned around and there was this little guy standing there. And here it was Chris from Monstrum.
Oh,
and
okay.
So, yeah, I did set up. I had already had time slots set up with them. And I'm going to try to get that video up this weekend. They don't like to be on camera. They will not go on camera. They won't talk. So they kind of gave me spec sheets of the new optics. And then they just walked out of the booth and let me have the booth to show stuff off. So yeah, it was really cool. It was nice. That was one of my favorite parts of the show, was getting to meet people that I've been emailing and texting back and forth with for a year that I have never met in person.
Yeah.
So I made sure to go and talk to every one of my sponsors that, you know, have been sending things to the channel. So yeah, I had a lot of good, and I built a lot of new relationships while I was out there. I spent some time with RCBS.
Okay.
Sounds like they're going to be wanting to have me start covering some reloading stuff for them.
Good. Well, I mean, part of it too is people also have to understand this is a business trip. If you want to grow your channel, this is a time to network with the vendors. And I've done this before at other trade shows, just not in the firearms industry. With what my current job is, I've actually worked with other companies and talked to other companies and been able to check out products and stuff. So, I mean, I see where you're coming from. You know, I mean, it's an important part of growing. It is one of those things where, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you're just privileged because you get to go there. No, you just put the money back and you made the trip and you're hoping in the end, you're going to benefit from it personally and professionally. You know, heck, just going to a gun show, you can network with people and make connections and stuff, you know? And I think that's important if you want to grow the channel. So people need to understand that, yeah, it is a business trip, but it's also a chance to kind of be part of the community that you're in and meet some of those members from that community and so on. So, yeah.
And I want to give a big shout out to Snob out there in the side chat, because him and Obi and Sarge, they, you know, I had a big support system around me while I was out there, especially being a first time guy.
They see Ghost and Clover. You saw Ghost and Clover out there too?
Oh yeah. We were all together too.
Yeah, those guys are all out there. Yeah.
But Snob had told me that he said you need to go down there and have a chat with Live Free Armory, do some filming down there, and I did. And that was a really good experience. There was some talk about, you know, possibly me doing some reviews for them too. And I wouldn't have got that connection if it wouldn't have been for Snob. So, and Obi and Sarge. So I just want to thank him for that. So.
And I do have respect for those companies and they know what they're doing, but I do have respect for those companies that are willing to give you a chance to review their products and talk to them and show them off. Because I think maybe a lot of these companies don't, in the long run, you know, if they grow with you as a channel, then they're, you know, it's going to increase their sales and you're going to build a community and rapport with your audience and them. So, I mean, they can only benefit from even letting the smaller channels have an opportunity to show off what they have and not just the big channels. You know, I think that's really cool that they're willing to work with you and do that kind of thing. So,
yeah. And the cool thing is you get to see them again, Chris, because they're going to be at the Great American Outdoor Show this year.
Yeah, they're a great company, and they've got a 2311 getting ready to come out too.
Yeah.
And
Live Free Armory.
Yeah, and it's going to be under $1,000. And
real quick, Chris, so people that might not know, what is a 2311? People have heard of a 1911. Some people might know what a 2011 is. What's a 2311?
So the whole thing is now, well, I should say, I guess theirs will technically be a 2011. There's a lot of chat going on right now about Staccato has kind of copyrighted that 2011 name at this point. So now you're starting to see, like EAA, they named the witness the 2311. So I think it's more of a copyright thing, but technically, they're double stacked 1911s.
In a variety of calibers, 9mm, 10mm, 45 ACP. It's not just not just a 9mm thing, right? Yeah. Okay. Real quick, Firefighter 09100 is joining us. Firefighter, how you doing, man?
Oh, just got back from overtime.
All right. You doing good?
Oh yeah. Just like how Single Shot was saying, rain, snow, snow, lots.
Hey, dude, you're breaking up a little bit. Are you on mobile? Or are you on a PC at home or something? Or
no, I'm actually home on my home Wi-Fi network, but you've been having some crappy weather, so it's affecting the internet.
No problem, man. No problem. I'm glad you're with us. You got questions for Chris, just let him know, and we'll go from there. And again, people out there watching on the YouTube side, if you guys have questions, let us know. We'll go ahead and what was this? Chris has been corrupted. He's running with a bad crowd. No, he runs with only the best YouTubers that are out there, man. I'm telling you right now. So, all right. Also joining us, we got Squiblift. Squiblift, how you doing, man? You doing good today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
All right, man. You've been working hard or hardly working?
No, I'm
sound tired, bro.
Out looking. Yeah, I've been a lot of driving. I've been out checking out some old guns. I'm going back to the show again today.
Cool. Well, Squib, I'm going to show something off here that you might want to start putting some money back for, because I know you'll have that Italian Ferrari paid off here pretty soon. So I got something else that I'm going to talk about that might one of two things that may just strip your trigger. So, all right, Chris, we do have a question for you out there. Christmas 740. Did you check out stuff from companies like Terran Tactical? Did you go to any of the like Staccato, Terran Tactical, Langdon Tactical? Anybody with tactical in their name? Did you go visit any of those people?
We did not do anything with Terran Tactical. I kind of had a different approach when I went out there. So I didn't leave the basement for a day and a half. I was down there trying to focus more on
up and coming companies that want to get some exposure, that are willing to work with you. Yeah,
because I kind of was like, with me being such a small channel, everybody's going to want to see all these big things up on the main floor. They're going to be watching a lot of the bigger channels to get that stuff. So we concentrated on the first day and a half of just hanging down in the basement and working with just smaller companies down there and trying to build some relationships with stuff. I had to do a lot with Tandem Cross while I was out there. They were in the basement.
Well, you're a brand ambassador for Tandem Cross and also Monstrum. I mean, let's be transparent about it, So you do show, but you also show the good and the bad and the ugly of their products too. If something fails, you're not afraid to mention it. You talk about parts wearing out and stuff breaking, which again, I respect you for doing that because you're giving us your honest opinion.
So Wednesday afternoon, my whole afternoon was they took me out. Tandem Cross took me out for lunch, took me out, and we went drinking for a while. And but I didn't do a lot of footage on the main floor. I mean, I went and checked out FN because I wanted to see the new 10mm they've got coming out.
Yeah, the 510.
Yeah, because that's definitely a gun I'm interested in getting now, especially after handling it. That's definitely going to be one this year I'm going to pick up. We went over and did some stuff with Voodoo Tactical, but at Savage, because I did get to shoot their new 1911, so I did go to their booth and film some B-roll there, so I can roll into the range footage of the new 1911 that Savage is offering now, which was really nice gun. Really impressed with that. And we talked with Zenith for a while. So, yeah.
Did you get to check out the M&P 5.7?
We did. You couldn't even. Here's a booth you could hardly even get into. Smith & Wesson was insane. I tried to go get footage of the new thermal red dot from Holosun.
Mm-hmm.
There was over 100 people in that booth at all times. It was just nuts over there. So yeah, that's going to probably be stuff you'll have to look to other channels on really for that.
That's just it. Being the bigger channel, you've got that leverage to say, hey, give me a time to come meet you so you can show me your product. Like TFB or some of those other channels that got that footage and got that 5 or 10 minutes. Like PSA, I'm sure PSA was probably packed,
Yeah, because he had, like Snob said out there earlier, like TFB's walking around with a 20-man crew. Classic Firearms was there. I'm sure they're going to have some really good coverage.
They've been putting out massive videos. They've done 3 videos so far that are all like 35 or 40 minutes long, just showing off every vendor, And I watch it all. I don't have anyone. I'm subscribed to all you guys. I have 150 YouTube subscriptions, and I watch on my feed. That, like I said, that's my form of entertainment. I watch whatever pops up, so I'm watching everything. And I've seen some pretty. Although I will say this, what was it? I did not see any coverage, like anybody go visit the Panzer Arms booth. I was kind of curious about their Benelli M4 clone, and I'm sure Classic probably visited them briefly, but like I didn't see any one person go to them for like a product lineup interview, because they posted a SHOT Show 2023 video showing off what they're selling this year. But their little $500 Benelli M4 clone really has me kind of curious, because they claim it's an exact replica and it's an exact copy. So quality wise, I don't know, but I'm just saying it looks the part. Squibble, if real quick, do you have any questions for Chris at all? He's fresh back from SHOT Show 2023. Anything you want to ask him, or anything you're kind of curious about, or anything that he might have seen?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So Chris, let's talk about the bad. What sucked about the trip? What was not fun, aside from the physical demand, the emotional draining of having these full days of running around like a chicken with your head cut off and filming and trying to edit? What was not so fun? What could have been done to improve it a little bit?
I always hate the flights. I hate flying to Vegas. TSA is a nightmare. Luckily this time they weren't. I carried all my camera gear in my carry-on bag. So luckily this time they weren't tearing my bags down and throwing all my stuff out all over the place.
What about like batteries, like lithium-ion batteries and stuff like that? Is there any? They don't stop that kind of thing at all, like from your.
No, as long as you carry them on your carry-on bag. So anything that has batteries, I just make sure
it's climate controlled and stuff like that. Yeah. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, because on the flight home last night, we had a lithium battery. Somebody decided to throw their laptop in their main bag, so we had a fire bag situation last night on the way back. So,
oh my God, like somebody's computer, like their battery, like.
Yeah, it expanded. I'm assuming due to temperature change, probably.
Wow. Well, they probably
we were dealing with that.
A cold car overnight, and then it gets hot, and then I honestly probably wouldn't even travel with a computer if I was going to go. To be honest with you,
luckily it didn't happen until we landed, but there was a delay on us getting our luggage because we had to wait for them to deal with the battery.
What I would do, and this is going to seem totally ridiculous, I would buy a cheap laptop when I get there. I'd film all my SHOT Show stuff, and then just take the laptop, throw it in a UPS box, and have it shipped home, so it's not even a concern. Right. I mean, seriously, it costs $13 to ship it home. It's like, just let them box it up and send it back. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about the ugly? How are the prices? Like the food prices? Was it insane? Like $9 for a can of pop, $15 for a hot dog? How is all that stuff on the side? The hotel prices? Let's get into the ugly, because New York Outcast is going to want to know how much does it cost. All right.
SHOT Show is ridiculously expensive. Clover and G-Webs, they've done a lot of chats about how to keep it money. Cheaper.
They do a lot of Airbnb stuff. They kind of buddy up and stuff and roommate up and stuff to save cost, Yeah.
So I'm going to guess between the hotel and my wife and I she paid for a lot of this too, but probably between the hotel, the plane tickets, the food and everything, the trip probably cost me somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So
and now we're not talking like any little visits over to like Battlefield USA or anything like that, to go shoot full auto and stuff like that, just straight up for the trip itself.
No, and one thing we noticed that so all your Ubers pretty much went up an extra $10 because SHOT Show was going on. Which,
if you've never done Uber, it's usually what, $25 to $35 one way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So it was
anywhere.
They were adding. They definitely upped their prices for SHOT. A lot of the restaurants, because I've been to Vegas 8 or 9 times. I've spent a lot of time in Vegas.
You know Vegas. Yeah, and I figured you'd probably do what you could to make the most of it because you're familiar with the territory. Yeah.
So a lot of the food the food prices were up a lot. I mean, by the time of dinner, and I did take the family. I had my wife and son. My son helped me film the whole time. But yeah, every meal was costing us, with tip and everything, I mean, somewhere between $100 to $150 a meal. So
that's if you don't eat McDonald's or In-N-Out Burger,
Yeah, and we did.
Good
I mean,
Lord.
we're all typically, I was trying to balance out family and SHOT Show. So the SHOT Show, the day was spent there, and then the evenings, I was wanting to take them out to do things they wanted to do.
So, all right, now New York Outcast has a comment up there. He says, definitely not worth it for me. So, Chris, if you're playing the long game and you want to develop your channel and grow your channel, these investments Chris is making now could pay dividends in the long run with connections. Like there's companies that I've been working with for 5 or 6 years now. If I call them up, they'll send me whatever I want. I mean, it does. You're making these connections now. If you really want to build and you want to grow, you're making these connections so you can have these long-term relationships with companies so that you can be the next TFB or the next Hickok 45 or whatnot. So yeah, the upfront expenses are crazy, and it's going to take you. And if your channel's not monetized, and even if it is, good luck trying to keep the videos monetized because of the content itself. That's not what it's about. For a lot of people, it's to have the experience, to get to go. I really want to go because I've never been to Vegas before. My dad's been there a million times. He said he'd be my cameraman. So I mean, we're going to make it happen at some point. But just to go, I mean, it's not always about just the upfront cost. That's going to happen. You expect it. But Chris, you also work your butt off, and this is kind of a way to reward yourself for what you do the rest of the year. I mean, that's just part of it too, because I see your videos of what you do for employment, and I mean, you're working your butt off, and you if you feel like you want to go, you go. So anyway,
so if I could jump in to, all right. So he's giving you the expenses of 3 people going to Vegas and doing things in addition to the show. Now, I can tell you that having a cameraman, it would be nice to have it. So I understand that. And if you can turn it into a family trip too, you're multitasking, and that's a good thing too. I've kind of done that sort of thing too. But I can tell you that if you're just going by yourself, you can do it for a lot less than that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can tell you that for a fact. For one thing is don't eat near the show. Go into town where the locals eat. That sort of thing.
Or go across the street to Walgreens.
If you don't know your way around town, it's not really that difficult to navigate. I mean, you could drive 18 minutes off the strip and you're eating at a regular restaurant where you're not paying the crazy prices. I can tell you that if you don't feel like walking to CVS, you don't feel like walking up the strip to CVS to get a couple cans of beer. If you go to the bar, you're going to pay like $20 a drink. Or if you go to the gift shop there, you're going to pay about $12 a can for beer. It's kind of, New York Outcast is losing his mind right now. Dude, you're in Vegas. You're here to have fun. You're here for work. I'm sitting at the restaurant and the guy's saying, can you put my food on one and my drinks on the other? Because he's charging his work for food, but not for his drinks. So there are ways to do it. I mean, you can, if you're carrying a lot of gear or you don't want to deal with the flight, you can do a road trip. But that thing is, that's taking time. And if you're staying at hotels and stuff like that, that's adding up too. That's why the more people you have, the more, if you're getting 2 rooms as opposed to 1 and stuff like that. But there are places you can stay that are close to the show, and there are ways to do it. Trust me. I mean, I only paid for a room one night this weekend because I'm staying with a friend. So make some friends in Vegas.
There you go, man. Go find the Swamp Fox lady and just see if you can Airbnb with her. All right.
I wouldn't recommend Airbnb. No.
I kind of want to elaborate too on what Squib said. So there was if you shop around and do your research before. So, like for instance, we stayed at the Link. So there's the Link, Harrah's, Casino Royale, and then the Venetian. So if I go to drink a Bud Light at the Link for a 12-ounce can, it's going to cost me $9.50. Plus, I have to tip the bartender for bringing it over. But the Casino Royale, which is right in the middle of SHOT, $3 for a beer there.
Yep.
And it's owned by Best Western, so I'm assuming their rooms are cheap too. I haven't looked into their rooms yet.
I've stayed there. It's a Best Western. Yeah. It's just like staying at a hotel on the side of the road. Yep.
So you can stay there, and then in-house there, they have a Subway, they have a Pizza Hut, they have a little hot dog, and their prices are all the same no matter where they are in the United States. So like whatever Pizza Hut would cost here in Ohio,
you're not paying triple for a cold cut combo. You're paying just your $9.50 for okay.
Yeah, there's definitely ways to be thrifty while you're there to save money. The Walgreens CVS that Squid brought up, that's the first thing we do when we get there. We go there, buy our stuff, and put it in our
fridge.
Get
your snacks, get your water, get your bottles of water. I mean, that's what I would do anytime I would travel to Orlando or San Diego. I go find the closest just little grocery store and just stock up on stuff for the week, so I wasn't spending $5 for a granola bar at the hotel, you know.
And they're all over the place. They're up and down the strip, and you go to a street behind the strip or something like that. There's all kinds of stuff. I recommend getting a rental car. Don't Uber or that sort of thing. But then again, if you're just going to go to the hotel and you're staying, you know, you're not going anywhere else. You're not. But when you get the rental car, they pick you up. The shuttle bus picks you up at the luggage claim at the airport, takes you to the rental car place. It's about 3 miles away, where all the rental car companies are. You rent your car, then from there you drive out. But then again, you're going to pay for parking, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it depends. Are you going a lot of places? But with that rental car, now you have the freedom to drive into town, where you can go to a regular restaurant and pay regular restaurant prices as opposed to the high on the street. So you have to figure out what would be best for your situation, because for some people, all that stuff just wouldn't be worth it. Getting the Uber and just eating close to where the show is, it's more practical. For other people, you know, if you've got a group, maybe you can share the car and share the expenses. And there's a lot to work out. You know, I can tell you, the Westgate was $215 a night, and that's not that bad, you know. So. It depends on what your situation is.
Mm-hmm. So, Chris, we got a question here that Sam of Anarchy asked for you. He wants to go, did you take guns and stuff to Vegas in one of those TSA approved cases?
No, I've never taken guns out to Vegas. There's really no reason to. There's gun ranges all over out there that you can just go
like a carry gun for personal protection. You didn't, no, it's not worth the hassle.
No.
I remember watching James Reeves' video on that when he had to check his gun in at the hotel or something, and it was a freaking nightmare. It was awful. His carry gun, like he had to go like 1.5 miles to go retrieve it anytime he wanted it. He goes, it was ridiculous. And he showed that they're walking him through tunnels and stuff with a security guard that's treating him like he's a felon. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. It's just nuts, you know.
Okay, the only reason is because he declared he had guns. He's a
lawyer. He's going to want to follow the law, you know.
It's not a law.
Oh, okay.
It's a policy. It's a company policy. It's not a law. I'm a guest. I'm paying a lot of money to stay here. Last night I put my PT-92, my M9, and my SR-1911 on the bed next to mine.
Okay.
And I had ammo in the room. I've had guns. You know, they got these little vaults in there, right? So if you're just bringing a handgun, throw it in the vault and lock it up.
And that's what I've done anytime I've ever stayed at a hotel where I wasn't able to carry wherever I was, or if I had locked a gun up for whatever reason, it would just go in the vault, you know.
But anytime I bring guns out here, it's because I'm driving. I have never flown with, I don't want to deal with all that TSA crap or whatever. But they got the signage there right by the elevators, you know, about, you know, no firearms on this point, or you got to check your stuff or nothing. And I brought my guns right in there in my luggage. Ain't nobody stopped to search my luggage. And if they did, we would have a big problem right there. You don't just search my luggage. I'm a guest at this hotel. I'm not a prisoner here. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you're going to declare that, or if you've got something really expensive that you don't want to keep in the room or something, or you have a long gun in a case, then maybe you're going to have a problem. But if you're bringing a couple handguns, that safe that comes in the room, you program the combination to, I fit a Colt Walker in there. All right, there's room. I fit a Colt Walker, a 1911, and a K-bar in there. Still had room for money and credit cards and stuff like that. So
cool. Chris, so tell us a little bit. Let's hear about the companies or products that you saw in the basement, which is the up and coming, growing brands. What did you see down there that really kind of caught your attention, or who'd you speak with? Or I know you don't want to ruin your upcoming content. Let's keep your
no, it's fine. I don't. Yeah, you know.
What do you got?
So. One of the companies that I interviewed down there was Black Aces Tactical. You know, they're one of the companies that has always been one of the cheaper Turkish shotgun companies. So we're going to see a huge uptick this year in tactical lever action guns are going to be a big thing in 2023. And I think what it is, a lot of these smaller companies are seeing the fact that, like, Marlin and Ruger and these guys and Henry, they're having a hard time keeping up with the demand, getting these guns out.
They are. It's that, and like, don't even get me started on that. I've been complaining about not being able to get a 336 for years now, like a new one. So yeah.
So I was walking by Black Aces Tacticals booth, and they had this Desert Tan FD, whatever you want to call it, lever action sitting there. It had all M-lock down the front. I picked it up and I was looking at it. Now it's chambered in 410. So
I was going to say, was it a shotgun or was it a centerfire cartridge? So yeah.
Well, then I got to talking about it, and he was like, well, what we're going to do when this goes into production, they're planning on shipping it with 2 barrels. So you'll be able to shoot 410, but then you'll be able to shoot 45 long cold in it.
Oh, now could you shoot slugs through the 410?
Yes.
See, there you go. That takes care of a lot of your issues right there. I'm sitting there thinking, why would you want a 410 shotty? But if you could do slugs, there you go. Now you got my attention. Plus, they're selling it for half the price of even a Rossi or maybe even a Ruger, which is running. Those Ruger Marlins are running. The 4570s are running $1,500.
Yeah.
1,000 to 1,500. So yeah.
So I did a really cool interview with those guys. They were super nice to talk to. We exchanged contact info and stuff. So hopefully maybe some, down the road here, I'll be able to do something with them. That was a really cool gun. I know CloverTac put a short out this last night. TriStar has a lever action coming out. So hopefully he's got some content on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies making traditional wood stock lever guns. They're not all making stuff that looks like it came off the set of Transformers. And there's nothing wrong with those guns. I mean, there's one we're going to look at here in a little bit that I think it's genius. I think it's brilliant. And I'm hoping that Bond Arms takes it further. And before people roll their eyes, I want to talk about what some of the advantages of that lever action AR is that they showed off. Like why would you even consider it? Because there's a lot of cool things I think people aren't thinking about. They look at it and think, oh my God, that's an abomination. Why would you do that to a 336? No 336 deserves to evolve into the next thing, right? I'm sorry. I'm looking at it thinking about all these possibilities from a hunting perspective, from a multiple caliber perspective, from a budget perspective, already having all these uppers sitting around. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so who else did you get a chance to talk to?
There's another company down there.
Was Aegis Gun Care there, or any of the cleaning companies, or did you see anybody like that at all, or no?
I didn't see Aegis there. My cousin is the vice president of marketing for the Allen Company, that makes all the slings and the gun
they
bags.
get a lot of my money. Yeah.
Yeah. So I set up an interview with him. We went over, we did a little, we did a bunch of B-roll through the Allen booth and all that, but they just bought out a cleaning company that I have been using their products for a long time, which is Breakthrough Clean. So Allen now owns that company, but they bought it up. They're still going to keep it separate from Allen.
Yeah,
it'll still be Breakthrough.
They'll be under an umbrella company kind of thing, Yeah.
And the really cool thing is they actually hired the owner and inventor of the company. So he is now working for Allen, and he will have full control over Breakthrough. So now he's got a lot of money backing him up, So it'll be pretty exciting. They've got some really cool products coming out. Some different like boar snakes and things like that. So
okay,
yeah.
Did you get a chance to go by the Beretta booth, or was that another one that was just completely packed?
Yeah, I didn't go over there. Yeah, there was a lot of things coming home on the flight. I'm like, man, I wished I would have done this, or I wished I would have done that. But like I said, there's only so much time. I know one day I looked at my step counter on my watch, and I think it was Thursday. I walked, I think it was 8 miles Thursday. So,
okay. So question now, at the range day, was Beretta at the range day that you went to? Because I know SIG does a private event. They have their own, little thing that they do where you can't get the SIG one. That's invite only. But was Beretta there at the range day for you guys?
I assume they were. I didn't shoot any of the Berettas. Like I said, I left early, so I didn't get to see the very end of it, which is where EAA was down there, Oracle. Yeah. Those were companies I didn't get to.
Well, the one that really has my attention is the A300 Patrol Tactical Semi-Auto Shotgun and Tiger Stripe. That, I mean, I would have either been LEM4 or maybe a Beretta 1301, but this A300 looks awesome. And then also the Mossberg, JM 940 or whatever that one is, their tactical model. one of those is going to end up in my safe this year. There is a plan for that. And that A300 just looks freaking sweet. So I was just kind of curious if you even had a chance to handle it or see it. I mean, I'm probably going to buy it on site anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. So I was kind of curious about it. And I'm sure the big companies, it's hard to get in there. If you're not one of those huge channels, you're not going to get that special time to go in for the interview. And you can't stand around and wait all day for a 5-minute interview when you can go visit, 25 other companies,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Chris Winzet's got a question for you. Did you happen to get by SIG? The 320 stuff just keeps on evolving.
I don't even think SIG was there. I don't think
they just do their range day event. That's the only thing. And you have to be invited to go to that. So, yeah, they pulled out because of cost last year, I think is what they said.
Yeah.
Or COVID concerns. They couldn't staff it properly or whatever like that, So
yeah, like Glock. I went around the Glock booth. I didn't go in. I don't even want to know how much money they spent on that display. That was probably one of the craziest booths at SHOT Show.
Anybody wants any info on SIG, you got to do the Great American Outdoor Show again this year because they're going to be there as well.
Oh. Chris, are you going to that one or not?
Yes, I am going to go to that.
And Rich, are you going to go too this year?
Yeah.
Are you going to be there? Okay,
yeah,
cool,
Chris and I are going to be meeting up there.
So. Oh, nice. Okay. Awesome. Here's the big question, Chris. Did you get a chance to meet G-Webs?
I did. I was waiting for that one to come up. Yeah, that
you
was.
You have to look up and say, nice to meet you, sir.
So the funny thing is, I knew he was going to be out there. G-Webs and I, we chat back and forth a lot about, we email each other back and forth a lot. And I knew he was going to be there. I was actually on the bus sitting with She Fires and 2A and Nick from Milsurp Duo. And it was kind of weird because when I first walked in, got on the bus and the very front seat was Guns and Gadgets. So that was kind of neat to see them. Then I went and sat down, and this big guy, I'm sitting. I'm standing up.
I think he played basketball for the Lakers in the 80s, man. G-Webs is the Jolly Green Giant of the gun world, man. I wasn't kidding.
He's a sweetheart of a guy too. I'll say that. He's a lot of fun to talk to. That was a really cool time to get and meet G-Webs.
Yep.
So
I mean, like literally, if he stood next to me in a photo, which he doesn't post for pics, but if he did, like this would be like waist high on me, like the rest of G-Webs out of the camera anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah.
Yeah, he would walk up to me, like he would come up to me or She Fires, like first timers at range day, and he'd say, "Hey, if you guys need anything at all, come get me."
That's cool.
Yeah, he was really cool. So it was neat to get to meet him.
Yeah.
I didn't really talk to any big YouTubers while I was there. I did talk to Clint from Classic Firearms, took some pictures with him. He's a really nice, humble guy.
Yeah.
And then we got to talk to Hickok 45 for a few minutes. He took some pictures with us. He was really cool to talk to him, so because in the media room in the morning, we're all in the same media room. Doesn't matter if you have 500 subs or 1 million, we're all in the same room together. So
did you run into with Yankee Marshall there? Did you see him?
I didn't see him.
No? Okay. I mean, it'd be hard to spot somebody in a room of 1,000 people, but still, I was kind of curious who you ran into. So Gizzard Gary, you got to meet Gizzard?
Oh, yeah, but I met him out. We were all in Tulsa together.
Oh, that's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always great to see Gary. Gary's a cool guy.
Tulsa's going to have to happen for me this year. I think I just need to go. So I'm really interested in that one in April. So, yeah, we'll see. Unless I buy something expensive for the gun safe, then that might not happen if I happen to get it ahead of time. But who knows, man? I'm still on a quest for a lever gun. Yeah. So Chris, what are you going to do differently next year if you go back, or the next time you do go back? What are you going to do different?
I need to build a better map thing for the week for what I got to do. A lot of the stuff I did was on the fly. But, I'm kind of torn on that. I know a lot of people say, well, go ahead and get it all mapped out, get a hold of the companies beforehand, set up the interviews and stuff. But the problem is like, I didn't want to do a lot of that either, because then if you're not walking around and browsing, then you're going to miss a lot of the cool new stuff that's out there too. So I don't know if I'll really do anything differently than what I did this year. I'll probably go back at it with the same game plan. Mm-hmm. I saw Sam, I think, out there had said, or no, it was Ozzy. And this was kind of I wanted to focus on what he said, because he's like, well, NRAM would be a good chance to see a lot of the big companies. And that was kind of one of my plans, was I'm like, I'll focus more on some of the small stuff at SHOT, because when I get out to NRAM in April, then I can, hammer down on the big companies then.
Well, I think this is good having this interview with you, because if somebody's considering going, or they want to start their YouTube channel or grow their channel, they think this is something they want to do, they need to know what it's going to take to get there. Plus, to get there, you have to apply and have some sort of media. I know you can talk to Ghost and Clover if you need to get in. Those guys can definitely help you with the whole process and stuff of trying to get in. Because if you're not somebody that, it's just like, I think like the CES Consumer Electronics Show, you have to be part of the media to be invited or be a representative to get to go. Or they might have like a day that's open to the public. But these trade shows, I mean, they just don't want any regular Joe walking in there that has, clogging up. There's already enough people there anyway. So it is there. It is a big business transaction in the end. That's the whole idea. It's show us what you got, make your purchases, and go home, So, I mean, I think people need to understand that when they go into it. But it's good to kind of hear about all the different little facets that kind of come along with it. So, yeah.
And if anybody is thinking about going next year, you can reach out to me. I'll help you out with whatever I can. Because I wouldn't have been able to go if I didn't have help from other YouTubers. So I'm willing to do the same thing for everybody else.
That's cool. It should be a really good time. Did you get to go to the Taurus booth at all? Did you check out the Taurus booth?
No, I didn't, because I didn't want to waste the time in the booth, because I spent a lot of time with Taurus at range day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
so tell us, hey, what do you think about the optics ready revolvers? Because that's basically all that they featured this year. They didn't have anything new in the G series that came out that was announced. They've done a lot. They've done a ton with the G series for the last 5 years. I'm not going to criticize them. I was hoping for something new and unusual, but I mean, the TX22 compact was announced. The different wheel guns with optics ready cuts in them were announced. The G3 tactical just came out like 6 months ago. But what did you think? Did you get a chance to shoot those revolvers?
I did. I shot the 38 special one. I shot the 460 Raging Hunter, and I also shot the new TX22 compact. So
what was your take on them? Can you kind of give us a little sneak peek on what you thought about them?
Yeah, I know we talked earlier about the Raging Hunter. That was awesome. Like you said, it does look like a gun out of Mad Max.
Oh, dude, it's got all kinds of stuff bolted onto it. It's like, what is that thing?
I think they gave me 10 rounds for the TX22 compact. It ran flawless.
Is the
nice
grip
and accurate, just like all the other TX22s.
Is it the same grip size as the full size model, just a shorter barrel, or is it a more compact grip? Does it have it's a 13 round mag instead of a 15 maybe, or what?
The grip did feel different to me than the TX22 competition that I have.
Oh, the comp. Yeah, you got the comp model. Yeah.
But I don't know how much difference there is between the regular TX22 and the compact, other than
slight cuts in the
barrel
slide.
Length and the slide. But
yeah. I mean, if you like the ergos of the TX22, you're probably gonna like the compact. We've got a couple TX22s in our family that just run really well. We've had great luck with them. And the compact kind of has my attention just for fun, just to play around with, You can get a gun just because you want one. It's not like it has to have some sort of intention when you buy it. You just want to get it because you want to play around with it, put an optic on it, just have something you can enjoy. And I think that's probably important for people to remember. So
as far as the optics ready 38 I shot, I really liked it. I don't think I was having some issues with the dot, but it's got a really nice double action trigger, and for the money, it's definitely worth it. I mean, if you want a revolver with an optic on it.
Yeah, they had two different models with the 38 special and 357. They're going to do with the optics cut on it, and I think it's going to be under 550 or something like that MSRP. Yeah. So they're going to be under 500. And just to get a decent revolver under $500 is a chore anymore. So let me just get my little rant out here. My complaint, Chris, the only thing I will say is all the videos that I've seen, and here I'm about to but talk about these guns I want to buy. Everything I'm seeing is like $1,000 on I'm sorry. It's like you say, well, that's your problem, whatever, go get a better job or whatnot. But like everything I'm seeing was $999, $1,500. Man, I don't know. They're trying to show you the cream of the crop of what's coming out. Other than like the Taurus revolvers, everything just seems so freaking expensive. The RIA 5.0. $1,000. The Bond Arms lever gun, $1,500. The God knows what the FN stuff's going to cost. I remember seeing something they're going to be bringing over. B&T's bringing over Dragunovs, $7,000. It's like, Jesus, who's got money to buy this stuff, man? Yeah, right. Put on the credit card. As Squib would say, But did you just think that? I mean, what's your thought in general? Stuff just getting expensive, or is it just me, or is maybe $1,000 the new norm for anything fun in the gun world? You know?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it was a lot of the stuff was. There was so much focus this year around the 2011s. EAA's got the Witness. You had FN's got the new 10 millimeter pistol. 10 millimeter was a big thing, right?
All these 10 millimeter guns are going to cost upwards of $1,000. You know what I mean? And people will buy stuff if they want it. There's always going to be the money to buy. Just everything I'm seeing, it's like this bolt action rifle, $2,500. It's like, Jesus, I got to finance this stuff. It's like that's a used truck out here in Nebraska.
Yeah. Hell, man, when I was watching coverage of CES this year, it's the same thing in the tech world.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous prices things are going for these days.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just me complaining as one of the poors. It's just, at least the high points one saving crazy.
Yeah, right.
P10 for, it's going to be $260 with a Crimson Trace optic.
There's always high point in Heritage.
I'll take 10 Cordova payments of $26 on the high point. So there we go. Yeah.
Heritage, High Point, and Taurus, and you're covered.
Yeah, and I know, okay, you can say supply costs have gone up, labor costs have gone up, but inflation, blah, 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 delivery costs have gone up. But my God, it just seems like prices have, like I said, good old days of cheap guns are gone, man. It's like, I can't even imagine what that Ruger Marlin 336 is going to cost when it comes out. It'll go MSRP of like, they'll probably, I hope they price it around the price of the Henry, but, that was another one, the Henry Homesteader, the 9mm carbine Henry Homesteader. I thought, that thing's pretty cool. Well, it's got an MSRP of $989. Jesus, I'll just go buy a Ruger PCC for $300 less. It looks cool. I want one, but it's like, God, guys, come on, man.
Well, you take the Tombstone also from the POF. That's $2,000 for their
the Tombstone tactical lever. POF lever gun. Yeah. So I mean, that's just my complaint. It's just I just wish that stuff wasn't so friggin' pricey. It's like I'm gonna have to drop $1,000 on this, $1,000 on that. Like that RIA gun. These things do drop in price somewhat as time goes on. I look at what guns cost when they first come out. PSA. What has PSA been featured? Did they really feature anything new this year? I think I've watched their videos.
STG 44.
Oh yeah, they're going to be doing. So they're working in conjunction with the company that took the down payments for people on those STG 44s.
The company that took my money.
Okay, now did you ever contact them because PSA said they're fulfilling the orders for those people that put money down or bought one?
Yeah, those
that never got the rifle. They're getting them first.
Yeah, the PSA reps that I've seen in videos said that they are taking care of those people first, and those people are going to get the rifle at the price that they were quoted by the company that originally was going to be making them.
But it's going to be over $2,000. So you might want to check into
that, Squib.
I tell you what, if I have the magazine that I pre-ordered show up in my mailbox, I will do a video on it. But until then, no, they took my money. I tried contacting them. They wouldn't return. They just, that's a sore spot, and you might go, it's $40. It's Doesn't not matter. That. It's the principle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the principle.
Yeah, they did something immoral.
They lied. They lied to everybody because they said, "Oh, this is so hard to make." It's not hard to make. That's one of the reasons why I can see somebody complaining about the gun prices going up. I understand certain things have gone up and this and that, but the fact that some of these guns have skyrocketed in price, it's like it's not costing you that much more to make. As somebody in manufacturing, it's not costing you that much more to make it. It's costing you more. It's not, So it'd be interesting to see if PSA, how much Hill and Mac actually did, and PSA is buying as far as tooling, prints, test data, how many other people are they hiring, that sort of thing. But I'll believe it when I see it. So I'll do a video if it actually happens.
I would say with PSA doing this, the fact they went public and stated this, I mean, PSA is one, other than the PSA MP5, they usually go through, eventually they pull through with what they say they're going to do, they do. But again, like you said, we'll see it when it happens. But if they told these people they will be delivering these rifles, that's like a legal obligation you're making there, What is cool about it, though, is the calibers they're going to offer. They're going to do the 8mm Kurtz, which, is there even ammo out there?
Yes, there is. I keep it in stock.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They're doing a 5.56, which is cool. They're going to do a 7.62x39, which again, I'll believe it when I see it when it actually makes it into production. But still, yeah.
So if they 300 blackout.
Go ahead, Squib.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut Rich off there. If they actually bring this into production, unless these things are like $4,000 each or some ridiculous price, put me down for 2 of them.
They said I think 2,200 MSRP is what, which is 400 more than what the promise price was on the originals. I think those were 1,800.
Yeah, they were 18, and I was back then. I was thinking about getting one, and then maybe a couple of years later getting another one. So for 2,200, I might do that. I might get one and get it, but I'm not just going to run down to the store as soon as they're out and pound my fist on the counter going, I want my $2,200 gun right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually maybe save up for it or something like that. I'm not saying I'll pay all cash. I might just use the credit card, get the points, and turn around, put the cash to pay it back. But still, if they're going to deliver what Hill and Mac originally promised at today's prices, 2,200 might be, I don't want to say reasonable, maybe acceptable.
Okay. So Chris, I do have one question for you. This is the one that everybody wants to know. Did you stop by the ATF booth and say hello?
Did not say hello, but we did walk by it. So
I wonder how people are. People stay cordial, or if they flip them the bird and tell them to go F themselves, or if they get. I wonder how vocal people get. I mean, first of all, I'm gonna give the ATF. I'm gonna say, okay, that it takes some serious huevos to go to the biggest gun show in the world, especially when you just drop draconian legislation on, or pushing for rules changes on pistol braces. Just dropping it on Friday the 13th, and the next week later is SHOT Show, and they've got a table there, and it seems like a lot of the people that were working at that booth didn't even really have answers that people wanted to know about the brace stuff at all. So
if you saw Jared's video where he was talking to the lawyer, the lawyer was saying that the people that he talked to, ATF, didn't even know what the hell's going on.
They don't even realize what they pushed out there and how it's going to set people up. But yeah, Chris, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts on the ATF table?
So you had the ATF booth, and then I believe like right behind them then was the FBI, and the DOJ's got a booth there too. So I think, and I saw Obi, the post office even had a booth there. I don't know what the deal was with that.
What do they get to go to SHOT Show for? And ironically enough, stamp prices I think go up this weekend. So you just paid for their trip. Thanks, good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those agencies just got thousands and thousands of rounds of ammo and weapons and everything.
They got to go
else.
do their deals too, Chris. They got to go lock in. They got to lock in all those SPRs we can't buy.
A lot of these alphabet agencies, first of all, don't need to be armed, and second of all, need to be done away with.
Well,
that's all there is to that.
Yep.
I saw Tacos asked earlier too about PSA. Now I didn't do any dealing with them at the at SHOT Show itself, but we spent some time with them at Range Day.
Oh, okay.
So I know Milsurp had shot the new the PA-15, which is their new clone of the A2 or whatever. That he loved that. He said it was a really nice shooter. I played around with the Jackal. I shot the Jackal in 300 Blackout. And then one of the other guys that was with us was running one of the daggers out there. They were really cool, and they would let you shoot multiple guns as you were walking down the table, just like Taurus. A lot of them you could only just go up and shoot one gun with 5 rounds of ammo, but Taurus and PSA were very they let you spend quite a bit of time there, so I thought that was pretty cool out of both of those companies.
Travis brought up the Henry PCC earlier. Did you get a chance to get your hands on that one? I mean,
we did. I did.
We'll look at it here in a little bit. Yeah.
I went and shot the new Ruger. I did go to Ruger and shot the. I wanted to shoot the 5.7 carbine, so that was pretty cool.
I'd like to go to SHOT someday, but I don't think I'll ever have a chance to get there.
You got to time it when you're taking a load out west. When you're
I don't go out west anymore.
Go talk to your boss. Hey, I really want a trip to Vegas in my truck. So what can I take? I need it this weekend, and I need 5 days off after that. But what can I deliver for you? Yeah. And you can just drive a bus. You can just drive a bus and take all of us with you as you go west. We'll all just jump in the bus on the way there. So
now that's an idea.
Gun Snob says that PSA bought the LFA amp and they're calling it the Switch LFA. Is still building it for them. What is that? I saw a picture of it. It's a semi-auto pistol, right? Or is it a side?
Yeah,
what is that?
The amp is essentially a metal framed clock clone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw like an OD green one with like a black grip on it or something briefly, and in one of the videos. So okay.
Jackal, is that a AR platform?
Yeah, kind
It
of.
looks like a SCAR clone sort of design, almost like a Bushmaster ACR SCAR clone. Piston driven, AR-15 with the charging handle up towards the pick rail to pull back, like a SCAR, in 5.56 and 300 blackout.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of comments on the short saying people were saying they were having issues with their 300 blackout one, which I didn't have any problems with it, but I can't remember how many rounds I shot through it, 5 or 10. But
well, there's a huge variety of ammo you could run through that gun, so you might have to find something that's going to run well through. And if it doesn't have a gas port adjustment on it, I don't know if it does or if it doesn't. But if it doesn't, you might be at the mercy of the ammo you're shooting. You might be trying to run sub rounds through and it won't cycle properly, or So yeah. I'm kind of curious, was SB Tactical there at all? SB Brace? I wonder if they were there. Because the way I see it, they're basically, if we don't get this overturned, this new ruling, they're gonna be done. Because nobody's gonna buy their product. You can't even legally own it.
I didn't personally see them there. Maybe one of the other guys that's out there that was there can chime in on it. There was a lot of SB braces on a lot of the guns I picked up.
I know. I mean, technically it's not illegal. There's nothing that's gone through. There's just the suggestion for you to follow their course of action within 120 days or whatnot. That's a discussion for a different time, guys. But still, yeah, I just was kind of curious if SB was there because that's, oh God, I don't even want to think about that. It just makes me sick. So real quick, Chris, do you have anything else you want to add? And then we'll just take a look at some of these guns, and you can maybe
you can roll in on it. One thing I did forget to bring up, and I'll try to get the video up this weekend too. I did go to Lionheart.
Lionheart.
I got to see the new optics ready. Gun they got coming out. So
they make some really nice looking guns, man. They make some really nice looking pistols.
They feel so good in your hand too.
Yeah, and didn't they originally start off kind of as like a P226 clone? Was that always kind of their thing initially, or not?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Chris, here we go, man. The elephant in the room here, the RIA Rock Island Armory 5.0. What'd you think? Aside from the issues it had, what was the recoil input? Was it really radically different from anything you've ever shot before? Because I want to put this head to head with my Shadow too. What do you think?
So yeah, I'll have some video on it. I did get the comment section kind of blew up on that short when I put it up because the gun I did have a failure to feed.
Well, people don't understand that. First of all, these are tools. It happens. Okay. Even the most expensive guns can be finicky until broken in. They're not always hand-fitted marbles that arrive at your doorstep. This was a running, working prototype, maybe a final prototype, for Rock Island. So stuff's going to happen, right? Okay, go on.
It's got a really, really nice trigger in it, and that gun is stupid flat shooting. It shoots so flat. I'm definitely going to buy one, even though I had the issue with the one at the range. But like I said, that gun went through hell on range day. So,
and if it's going to run okay with that many rounds, if you look at that barrel and you look at that slide and those tolerances in that sandy, windy, dusty condition, I can get it. You could have a stoppage or an issue because there's just a very fine fit of that slide basically running across like a block. It has to slide across the entire block.
Yeah, and the other thing we got to think about too is, they're running the cheapest ammo they can get in bulk too out there.
I was wondering about that.
115 grain.
Okay. Was it all brass?
It was. I can't remember what we were running there. I don't remember if it was Blazer or what. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the gun should just run no matter what you feed it. But, like I said, it rained out there. It was cold. You're in the desert. And there was a line all day long to shoot that gun. So yeah, it is what it is, but it's definitely a gun I'm going to buy. I think it's worth buying.
I think it's cool, man. I'd probably just get the one with the optics cut and just be done with it. I love my Shadow 2. My Shadow 2 is a joy to shoot. I love taking it to the range. It's just a fun gun. It's a smooth shooter. It's accurate. To me, it's just the perfect semi-auto pistol, Yeah. 04 Hemi says, I know the new Beretta Cheetahs are pricey and only $380, but good Lord, I want one and I want one bad. That one has SHOT Show. That one has one SHOT Show from what I've seen. So I'll show that off real quick. It's called the 80X Cheetah, and I think it's kind of a recreation of the Cheetah or the Beretta 84, which I did a video on one, and I do remember that being a very well-built, very smooth shooting 380, very comfortable, wonderful trigger, beautiful blued finish on it. Now, the one that I shot was one of Stan's from his collection from SS Pawn. And I think it was like a 1980s model or something. And it was just, I loved it. So this is the 80X Cheetah. This is basically, it looks like a full-size 92F, but it's actually like a 3/4 size, you know, about the size of a 92, but cut it down about 3/4. And that's their 380. Again, it's also going to have a retail of $1,000, $900 essentially. But it is made in Italy. Again, if you're a fan of 380, you know, if you just want something different or cool, I like it. I think it's a cool idea. I mean, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I personally would rather spend like $500 to $700 or $800 on a Beretta 84 and just have the original and enjoy the original, because they are wonderfully crafted pistols. They're great. But you know, if you want something a little more modern, you want to have an optics cut, you want to have something with mags are proprietary, unfortunately, because they couldn't get it to work with the original 380 mags because of the grip angle or whatnot. But again, not a bad looking gun. I mean, to have an actual Italian built Beretta, and I've got an American made Beretta. I've got a 92 FS Inox that's beautiful. That looks fine, but to have an Italian built Beretta, I think that would be really cool. And so that's what we're looking at. Oh, $799 is the MSRP, my bad. And I'm assuming that's with the optics cut. So $800 pre-tax, pre-shipping, pre-FFL fees and stuff like that. So let's make sure I'm not missing any questions out there at all. Hillbilly said, it's raining, it's cold, you're in the desert. Was there a horse with no name? Chris probably rode up on a horse, man. G probably did. G-Webs probably did. So yeah, the 80X Cheetah was another one that really kind of had my attention, that I really liked.
That is beautiful. I like that.
Now Squib's back right on time. Now I normally am not a fan. Like I said, when the first like Henry Model X tactical lever gun came out, I thought, how could you do that to such a classic design? But then I saw this, and again, I'm not endorsed by this company or anything. Then I saw the Bond Arms lever action AR-15, and the video for this just dropped yesterday. There's hardly no pictures online for it at all, so I'm just going to show you what I found. Is this it right here? Here it is. So let me just talk about what we got here. Okay, so this is a lever action AR-15. It is, I believe, like Remington 870 stock compatible. Okay, it is a lever gun, but they're going to sell it as a complete package for $1,500. Okay, but there is talk at some point of just simply selling the lower. In Bond Arms, if you don't just sell the lower, you'd be making a huge mistake. You know, price it $1,000 or $1,100 for those of us that have 25 uppers sitting around, but don't want a complete gun, would just want the lower. So they have modular, they're going to have different loops that you can get for it that'll match whatever stock you're running on it. This would work great for people that want to hunt with 300 Blackout, 762 by 39. Hey, Squib, 450 Bushmaster as a lever gun, right? Would that be sweet? You've already got the uppers, strap it on the lower. I think it adds a lot of flexibility. And depending on the hunting application too, you might not be able to shoot with semi-auto in the state you live in. Not everybody can. Just think about the caliber possibilities of a lever action that can run an AR upper that's AR compatible. I think it's just awesome. I don't know why. I mean, I'm normally not moved by tactical, you know, lever actions, but just what this offers, I just think it's really cool. Standard magazine compatible, I believe. Ambidextrous controls. That one's got the 16-inch upper. So that's kind of the configuration that Bond is going to sell it with. I don't know who they're going through for the uppers, but they're going to do the full package for $1,500. Now, they're not saying if it's going to have the rail, it's obviously not going to have the optics or the iron sights or the VFG that's on there or the tactical light. So Chris, what's your take on it? Is it me just getting hyped up on this, or do you think it's something that's genuinely cool? What do you think?
Oh, I'm all about it. I really like it. It's different. I like different stuff like this. And you said, if they sell just the lower, it's definitely, I think, something I would want.
So Outcast didn't hear what I just said. The idea is you can run multiple calibers through a lever gun, which could open you up to hunting applications. That's what I'm trying to say, is it makes the AR stuff you already own even more flexible for ownership, right? But go ahead, Rich. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I got to take off. I'll catch you guys later.
Dude, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. it.
Have a good day, guys.
Good day, Rich.
Have a
Here's
good
another
one.
one.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, so Squiblift, I want your take on this, because you and I have had a lot of lever gun discussions. We've kind of always kind of felt like, you know, that the tactical lever guns are just wrong. What do you think of this one, Squib? What's your take on
it? 2 words: no, and why.
Okay.
I like the idea of them saying, if you want to hunt with an AR-15 and you live in a state where apparently you can't hunt with semi-auto, this is your legal way to do it.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to spend the money on it, hey, that's fine. But why would you do that when you could just get a Cali key for $100, drop it in your upper, and you got a straight pull AR? If you're just looking to get rid of the semi-auto function for some legal reason, either just to own one or to be able to use it in a certain application in your communist state instead of just moving, then I would just get a Cali key. So, but if you're a big fan of levers and everything you own's a lever, or that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the rifle I've got. It's bagged a lot of deer. It's old, reliable. But I just I don't know. I think it's great that they're offering it. If somebody wants it, they can go get it. I'm not spending $1,500 on it when I could just, my 450 Bushmaster AR works just fine in semi-auto. So yeah. But I mean, I'm not.
I began not, and they said that they just did it just because they didn't have any real intention behind it. They just wanted to put one out there to see if they could get it done in their own fashion and style, and kind of maybe fix some of the mistakes that some of these other AR lever guns have made that have been released in the last couple of years. They just did it just because. They said they just wanted to see if they could do it just to do it, and they're going to offer it to people. I mean, not every gun, like I said, not every gun has to have some sort of intention and purpose behind it when it gets released in the market. It's nice to see a purpose for every gun you own. But, if you want something different or something cool, I think the ergos of the full-size stock would make it really comfortable. Jesus and here I am. What's that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And here I am, thinking about buying a lever gun, and that price point, $1,500, is going to basically put it in line with a lot of what these Ruger Marlins are going for, the 4570 SBL right now. Their guide models, I think, are like $1,000 or $1,100, $1,300. So it's like, ooh, this would offer a lot of flexibility, Hey, you could get yourself a 22 LR upper for it, and you could run your 22 LR through it if you want to, or use your cartridge switching kit or whatnot. I mean, I think it's got a lot of possibilities. I like it. I think it's cool, but that's just me. So,
I mean, if you really like levers and you don't really you don't have a purpose for it, you just want to get it. Hey, it's your money. You earned it. Well, most people earn their money. Anyhow, you earned it. Spend it whatever. It's not for me. For that sort of money, I can invest it in other things. I'm not saying it's even a bad price for a complete rifle per se.
Yeah.
But I just, I'm a collector, and I don't even see any interest in this. So.
Well, and here the Tombstone, what is it, POF? Was it POF, Chris? I can't remember. The Tombstone Tactical POF lever gun is $2,000, and it doesn't even. I don't think it even offers this kind of modularity, does it? I mean, isn't that a proprietary gun?
Yeah, proprietary mags and everything, I think.
You were talking about how much a Henry costs. Yeah, they're in the $1,000 range for just your standard centerfire Henry. There you go. So for $500 more, it looks cool. Okay, you can change that upper. Now maybe it's something where you were going, all right, I use this caliber for hunting this and this caliber for hunting that. Now you get two rifles in one. Then sure. But for something like this, other than just wanting to own a range toy or a gimmicky kind of thing, I would have to have a purpose behind it. So the flexibility, if you were using two different calibers in one season to hunt, two different kinds of game or something, or you're going to two different regions in your state and you can use one, then I could say, all right, now the cost is more justified to me.
Is it really giving you a tactical advantage over the $500 PSA AR sitting in your gun safe right now? No, not really. I mean, you can swap out those uppers too on your AR-15 lower and make whatever you want out of it with a mag change or an upper change and whatnot. So yeah. And the last one I was going to show off, because we've done a couple episodes on SHOT Show already. We've gone through a lot of guns, and I talked about a lot of what was out there. The Bullpup 357. Chris, did you get a chance to see the Zank? The Zank, I think it's called the Zank, isn't it? The Zank 357.
Yeah, that's another one I kicked myself in the butt for on the way home. I'm like,
well, all they had was a 3D printed model. They didn't have a working gun at all. They said that they want to get it out. It's another one of those things. That's a problem with SHOT Show, is don't get your hopes up on any of these guns until it's in your hand going home from the gun store, because the chance of getting it, a lot of these are announcing, again, and we've talked about how this drives us nuts, and they're just trying to get people's interest, but a lot of what they're talking about, a few companies are talking next fall, we're hoping to have it out. This summer, we're hoping to have it out. Should be in production by, whenever they say Q3, Q4, it's like, okay, the end of the year, going to wait another 9 months to get this gun. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where they show off a lot of stuff that either will never happen, or when it does come out, you're going to be another year older. So you might as well get what you want now, something that you've been waiting for now, because what you think you want to get may not be out till like another year from now. So it's the only thing we kind of run into. Yeah, so Tommy gun, the STG-44 mentioned now. We covered that already. We talked about it with PSA kind of in control of that now and what's going to happen to it and what they were talking for prices for that. The last one I was going to show off, and this kind of, I think this one's kind of cool. So Squib, you might like this one because you and I we're fans of the FAL. DSA is releasing the G Series Clone FAL rifle. And what it says is from September 5th, 1959 to January 10th, 1963, the Browning Arms Company imported 1,836 FAL rifles in 7.62 from FN out of Belgium. In 1963, the ATF classified this rifle as a machine gun. However, it was determined that the 1,863 rifles imported by Browning would be exempt from the provisions of the NFA. And apparently there's 12 FN FAL rifles that were imported through an administrative error in 1974. These 12 rifles are also exempt from the provisions of the NFA. So what they're doing is they're recreating, like, to the marking, the font, everything, the furniture style, the size, other than not being able to be full auto, but they're putting the full auto markings on the receiver. They're remaking these G series or GL series FAL rifles. They're saying they're going to be $2,200 to $2,300, but again, to buy a real one would be insanely expensive. So that's something that's kind of cool too. If you're an FAL fan, they're going to have it with the original style wood furniture. They're going to try to use the same color finish on it. The markings are all identical. They even said that they're going to do something with the serial numbers and make them match the serial numbers on the guns that were imported. So I don't know if they're going to just take the serial number and like continue with one extra digit and so it's going to look the closest thing you could ever get to an actual G series FAL. And I think it's cool that they're taking the time to do this, where they might only sell a couple thousand of these, but they're actually taking the time and the money to make them. And I think that's really cool. Everything down to like the flash suppressor and stuff too. But again, these are another one of those rifles that might not be out for like another 6 to 9 months. So we have time to save up. We have time to pay off our credit cards and get ready for this one. So G Series FALs I've always kind of had my attention to. So yeah. Hillbilly Up, what do you think about this, man? Are you is your mind blown with all this fun stuff coming out or what?
Oh yeah. I mean, just there's a lot of stuff out there that, I'm really excited that it's going to be coming out that I'm interested in. The 10 millimeter high point, trying to get my hands on that as soon as possible.
I think in February is when those are going to start shipping. So hopefully by February, we'll get those here in about 4 weeks, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And another one I'm interested in, matter of fact, the Fence Dad had said something about it here a while back, was the Henry Homesteader.
Yeah.
I like that.
I see it as a good investment. I know it's expensive. I would personally rather have it over Ruger PCC just because I think it's kind of classier look and it's got a nice, neat look to it. Kind of has this BAR kind of feel, almost like a Tommy gun kind of look to it, like just the design of it. They were saying it'd be cool if somebody make aftermarket furniture so you could make it look like a Tommy gun because it has the layout where you could do it pretty easily if somebody would custom make furniture for it. The Homesteader is cool. Glock Mag compatible and also SIG compatible too is what they're going to offer for it. So
I did have a question for Chris. So Chris, while he's out there, like, first of all, I want to ask, like, me wanting to go like range day, I think would be like a big, component to something I'd really want to do. So first I was wanting to ask you, how much you enjoyed that, but what gun there did you shoot that you just felt, one in particular gun is like, okay, I've got to have this gun.
The Zenith was there with the, all their like MP5 clones or whatever, but their price point, like most of theirs are like $1,400 to $1,500, which for that gun is super cheap when you compare it to others.
The AP5 is what, $3,000 or something from H&K?
Yeah.
Is it somewhere more, probably or something?
Yeah. That was probably one of my favorites I shot there. The Rock, like I said, the Rock Island 5.0 was definitely another one. I just was impressed with the trigger and how flat it shot. Rise Armament was out there. They've got a new 2-stage trigger coming out. It's probably one of the best feeling AR triggers I've ever shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not a good sign. Buy any full-size ZF5 and you get a free SB Tactical. Oh, it just disappeared. A free SB Tactical brace at $249 value. Oh man. Are we just going to start seeing these in the clearance bins at Five Belows and Dollar Generals everywhere? I hope not, guys. I hope not. So So was it was the ZF5, Chris, that you got to see? Is that right?
Yeah, they had like 4 or 5 different models of it there. Like I said, I shot the full size, like the I believe the one I shot was like a 16-inch barrel. I know Milsurp shot the pistol one. This one right here is the one he shot.
Yeah, it's got an 8.9-inch barrel, and this is $15.19 for just the basic with the soft case, your manual, a mag, you know. And again, these are American made now, right? They're not imported from Turkey anymore.
From what we're understanding, yeah.
Yeah. You can get a whole bundle if you want to get the case. Let's see, 3 magazines, the claw mount, the attachment. I don't know if that's just maybe a suppressor attachment, soft case with accessories, cleaning tool, or a sling. Free SB brace. Oh my God. It's just like a cereal box, man. It's like again, not ripping on it because I think these are really cool. But yeah, if you want the MP5 experience without, you know, they sell the semi-automatic trigger groups. Now that's cool. Because I ended up having an H&K trigger group that I had to buy for my Century C308 or my Setme C308 that I have. I ended up going with an H&K trigger pack for mine that was gunsmith modified, permanently clipped and neutered essentially to be semi-auto. But yeah. So anyway, Xena firearms, that they definitely look pretty cool. So, all right, man. Well, we'll see if we have any more questions out there. Let's see. So I see Scottish Americans out there. Roll calls joining in the house. I think we're good. So did I see where the 336 is supposed to be out soon? Tony York said. I have not seen anything. I have not seen any SHOT Show coverage from Ruger Marlin. I'm hoping they were at SHOT Show. I'm going to do a Google search or do a YouTube search and see if anybody covered their stuff. Maybe somebody got some information with them about the 336. I go to the Marlin website like daily.
I found out talking about Ruger, I kind of found out an interesting little thing about them when we were out there. So they are actually over in the Caesars Forum. So they're across the bridge from the main floor of SHOT.
Okay.
And I was talking to my cousin about that. And I guess years ago when they decided to add that extra part of SHOT on, whether it's, you know, I don't know how many last few years, whenever it was they did it. SHOT Show kind of made a deal with Ruger to move over there to the Caesars Forum to get more people to come over there. So
okay.
There was probably some, you know, deals made in the back. You know, well, we'll let you maybe have the first year
free
over
floor
here free. We'll see how much.
Yeah.
So I didn't really go to their booth, but we walked around it, and it was a really nice setup that they had there. But like I said, they were over in the over on the opposite. Across the bridge from SHOT in the Caesars Forum.
So real quick, this is a sign of hope. This is the first time I have seen this because there was no information before. Now that I'm looking, I went over to the Marlin website, Model 336, early 2023. So you heard it here first, folks. Early 2020. So we're in January. It is early 2023. So come on, Marlin, get them out there. Come steal my money before I go buy a lever action bond arms.
Do they have an MSRP on those?
Let's check and see. They do on their other guns when you click on them, like the SBL, the Trapper, the Guide. I think the SBL is what, 1,500. The Trapper is about 13, and I think the Guide gun runs about $1,000. Model 1894, spring of 2023. No, there's no information on this one at all. There's nothing to click on. And that's all they have for the lineup.
All right, because I was looking at 3030s yesterday, and there were older ones. You know, somebody might call them an antique, that were going for like $1,800. I'm like, why would you wait for a new one?
Yeah.
Why would you wait for a new one when you could, you know, get an? I mean, if you wanted one that there's been kind of a shortage in as far as new product getting out to the stores for 3030. So.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Tony said they said the 336 was coming soon, the 94 later on this year. Yeah, and so I mean that, and Squib, you're making a point. And also from an investment perspective, if you go buy a JM barrel 336, Marlin 336, it's going to go up in price. They've already doubled, if not tripled, in price over the last 5 years since Marlin got acquired by Ruger. So I mean, you can get yourself a good firing gun. You know, check it out, check the barrel. Good. I mean, if you see one at a gun show for like $1,000, I'd say buy one because they're not going down in price. They were pushing $700-800 about a year ago, and now they're up over $1,000. And you can still find some good deals on Gunbroker on them. You might find something at a local gun show, but if you want one, get one, because, and I can tell you this right now, if those 336s, I would imagine Ruger's going to MSRP those 336s the same price as the Henry H009s or whatever, the basic 30-30 side gate, just because that's going to be their main competitor. And maybe not. I don't know. I'm just thinking they probably do $999. I was going to say an MSRP of $1,000 is what I'm looking at. Everything costs $1,000 anymore, so why not, right?
Yeah, I had a guy pushing an $1,800 one on me yesterday. He used the whole 30-30, killed every animal known to man on the North American continent. That
even thing. A lot of two-legged predators.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not looking for one. I know a guy who's looking for one.
Yeah, that I would just go on Gunbroker and get one for $1,000. I don't want one. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. But I'm still holding on for it because I saw the SBLs. I've seen the SBLs in person, and they're beautiful. Ruger's done amazing things with them in the Marlin gunsmiths and whatnot. Whoever's making them, they look fantastic. Yeah, and I've seen a video where a guy did a side by side of the previous, the pre-Ruger SBL and the post-Ruger SBL, and it's like a night and day difference in the fitting of the furniture. And this guy just bought one. He bought one off the rack. He didn't get it. Well, no cherry pick for him from the manufacturer. Not. He's a small channel who just wanted to make a video to show people, hey, here's the difference between these two, and this is what I paid for it. Showed his receipt. He paid like $1,400 for it. He goes, I'm just a big fan of the 4570. Chris has a question for you. Or Roll Call has a question for you, Chris. Chris from the 704. 740. Did you see the ugly? I'm just reading the comment. Did you see the ugly Sky guns while you were there? So last year was kind of the year of Sky firearms for their DX whatever coming out. Did you go by the Sky booth?
I did not. I this is just my personal opinion. I have no interest in them whatsoever. So I didn't. Yeah.
And if anybody, and I still have people that leave comments on my videos saying that they're still having problems with them. I'm not ragging on them. I'm just telling you what people are telling me 5 years, 6 years after I posted my video, where mine basically wore out after 1,000 rounds, needed a new slide barrel, guide rod. Now, Sky did come through for me, okay, but I started having lots of issues with it before it just totally failed. So I'm just saying, you get what you pay for. If you're going to buy a Sky, buy a second one so you have one you can burn, just take for range trips, and the other one is your carry gun. Run them both, but just have one that's going to be kind of your beater, and then the other one's going to be your carry gun if you're going to go that route. And they're not even, they've gotten expensive. They're pushing like $300 anymore. There's so many other good guns you could buy. I'd rather have a Ruger Security 9 before I got a Sky these days. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. They got like the DXG one that has the new trigger, and they've got the 380s, and they've got their optic cuts. But they start pushing 350, 400. No, because I remember seeing them for like 179 on Classic Firearms 3 years ago, So I don't know. Hillbilly, do you have any experience with the Sky pistols at all? CPX1, CPX2?
No, unfortunately, I have not. But I just going to ask Chris, is this your B channel, Chris from the 704?
No.
I just
I was trying to read. I was thinking, am I reading it backwards? That's just Roll Call's just waking up, man. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's only had his first cup of coffee in, and he's still waking up. So.
But no, I have not shot the Sky. I kind of just stayed away from it. I'd heard a few comments. I mean, but I would definitely try one, but
yeah. Contact him. Maybe they'll send you one. I remember watching Honest Outlaw Reviews video on one recently, and he had problems with it. It had trouble with resets and stuff, and it just couldn't hit anything. It was just, and he's a good shot. So, I mean, I don't know. Roll Call said, hey, Squibby, Myers has 30-30 ammo. You should check yours. Oh, our Shields has got a dozen different grain weights and brands of 30-30 on the shelf now. And I asked the guy about it. I said, what took you guys so long to get 30-30 back in? He goes, we put the order in a year ago. He goes, they're going after those high demand calibers, 9mm 5.56. And he goes, they're just not dedicating the time to making the 30-30 because it's just not what people are consuming. He goes, luckily we got some in, and he goes, you can see we've got a few brands and stuff, and it's basically doubled in price now too, from what I used to pay for a box like Core Locked. I'm glad I bought it when I did, because I bought a ton of it at Walmart before they sold out about 2 years ago. Me and Defense Dad cleaned them out. So
I wish I would have it. It's been terrible trying to find them down around here, especially during hunting season.
Now, if you got a Shields or a Cabela's, maybe give them a call and see if they have any. But you expect $30 a box for Core Locked. I was paying $17 for it before all this crap happened. So
yeah.
Yep.
See, Tommy gun. I totally forgot that. I'm glad he brought it up. I did go to the Canic booth, and
oh, okay, yeah, Canic. What did they have?
Steel Frame Rival is awesome, and that was an experience too, because I got to meet Nils, who is probably the best USPA USPSA shooter of all time. So he was working their booth. Super fun guy to talk to.
Did you shake his hand and absorb some of his magical accuracy skills?
I hope so. Yeah.
You're just like holding onto his hand and you don't want to let go. Like, no. I want that trigger finger. So you said that was the rival all metal. What's that going to run for? About 700 or what?
The one that I've got that I'll be doing the video, it's a shorter video. I just wanted to show people the trigger and stuff and what it looked like. I think we're going to be looking at around $849 to $899, I think, for the all steel, the silver.
So compared to Walther and other brands that offer steel frame pistols, how does that compare value wise? Is it going to offer a lot for the money in your opinion?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're going to be $100 to $150 cheaper than the new M&P competition. The Walther steel frames, you're talking $1,600 for those.
Okay. I was like $10.99, but no. And then also what like doesn't SIG have a tungsten model?
I think
that you can get that super heavy. Yeah, I'm not up and up on all the 320 variants anymore, but yeah.
But I think the all black rival steel frame, you're probably going to be looking somewhere between $800 and $850 for that one. So yeah.
Did they have the Miami Nights and the Miami Days?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were all there.
I think it's cool they did that. It looks like if I was bored and I'm having some 80s nostalgia and I wanted to match like my Bugle Boy t-shirt from 1993, they put that neon like Miami skyline paint job with like the bright blue trigger dingus and the bright blue, slide release and stuff. What do you think about those?
They're cool looking.
I wish they weren't $300 more than the base gun they're based on, but other than that, I mean, you get like a custom case, you get like a little 3D printed miniature version of the pistol in that color. It's cool what they're giving you. I think it's fun they're doing that.
I was an 80s kid too, so Miami Vice was a big deal when we were little, when I was a little kid.
Man. And you got that kind of that the neon, palm trees and bright turquoise going on and stuff. And then they got the white version that's got the, the blue, the blue and the black palm trees on it and stuff. Well, what's kind of funny though is I saw Anderson, they have the Kiger or whatever they call it, the Anderson pistol. They did a Miami copy of it. I thought it was kind of cheesy that they copied Canik. It's like they had their own version of it with the Miami Nights painting on. It's like, come on, guys, do something original. Don't. It looks nice in camo. It looks really cool in camouflage. But I saw that one. I was like, really, guys, you're going to go copy Canik? A lot of people are like, Canik, why'd they even do it? Why not? They just wanted to have fun with it. They didn't care,
But does it come with the little suit jacket to wear or your
members only coat? Your members only. No, you got to go get this on eBay, and they're vintage now, so you pay top dollar for those.
Oh yeah.
Maybe hit the garage sale scene. Go check out some Goodwills. You might get yourself a good members only coat. So,
or if you're like some of us, you can dig deep back in your closet.
There we go. It never left. You never didn't become a member. You've always been a member. So Tony York says, I'm kind of hoping for that Ruger will drop an 1895 Cowboy and 444. Recently, that gun has caught my eye. What is the new one that's out? Like 460 Sledgehammer or something? I saw Hootie who did a video on that recently. There's a new deer round that just dropped. And I think Henry makes a cartridge for it. Or they make a rifle for that cartridge. It's like a brand new one that just dropped recently.
Yeah, the only cartridge that I covered was the 360 Buckhammer.
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, the 360 Buckhammer. Yeah.
I'm really glad I did that video. As soon as it went up. It was a content video. It was a 2 or 3 minute long video, and I don't know how many. I think that thing's pushed over 2,000 views already now. But man, the comments on that, man, that round is either loved or it's hated. There's no in betweens with it.
Hootie who did a wonderful video on it. I'm gonna give the guy credit. Shout out, man. He always does wonderful videos. Okay. I'm looking at his, and the first comment: wouldn't it be nice for ammo manufacturers to start making cartridges that people actually own rifles for? Well, I mean, now's a bad time to try to get 243, 270, 30, because a lot of guys bought all that stuff for deer season, so a lot of the shelves ran dry. But okay, so 360 Buckhammer, what do we know about it, Chris? Is it going to offer something new or what? Is it the 4570 competitor or what's the deal?
No, it's a straight wall cartridge. It's going to be another deer gun for like here in Ohio. Henry and Remington have teamed up on this, so Henry's making the lever action guns for it.
Okay.
I'm sure we're going to end up probably seeing AR uppers and everything else for it, depending if it takes traction.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I had this one guy, he just kept commenting on it. And this guy wanted to kill me. He's like, I can't believe I think he actually thought I worked for Remington. I'm like, guys, I'm just covering this. Like,
in the comments, somebody just went nuts on you. They just
he went ballistic. I just finally had to block him from my channel. And
it's like, dude, I'm just showing off what's coming out here. I'm the middleman here. I don't work for these companies. What don't you understand? Sometimes people just go nuts.
And then he even went as far to say that I was
you're
saying it was better than 450 Bushmaster. And I'm like, I never even brought that up. The only thing that I said in the comments were people asked me if it was a cartridge I wanted. And I said, no, I would rather have my 450 Bushmaster because I can hunt deer in Ohio with it and it does the job. So I never said one thing. Oh, it was just wild. And I couldn't even keep up with his comments. So I had to let him out. I just blocked him.
So 360 buckhammer, optimized for lever action rifle, accurate at 200 plus yards, ultimate straight wall cartridge. That's some definite delivering 2 times expansion. So we've got 200 grain weight, pill pushing 2,200 feet per second, soft point core locks, 0.181 ballistic coefficiency with a 20. So we're looking at it right here. So your energy at the, they don't have the energy on here. They just have the velocity. And it goes out, it will go out to 500 yards, but it's only pushing about 900 feet per second at that point. We'd have to run the numbers and see what kind of energy it's pushing out, like how effective it's going to be. So,
yeah. And I did I was real slow, like when I was covering the brochures and stuff, and they had a really nice booth set up for it. So I think I filmed 3 of the guns that Henry had for it, and I made sure I went real slow, like over all the specs on it and everything. That way people can pause it and look at it. They had glass cases there with the bullets that they'd shot through ballistic gel with it, so you could see the mushrooming and the expansion and everything on it. So it was a really cool display.
The big push that I'm seeing for ammo companies, this is something like with Meat Ammo, talking to them, they want that maximum expansion and grain weight retention out at a maximum, distance to show you the energy that it still delivers. So 200 yards, you still get a very good expansion that would still be lethal on deer. I think that's kind of what it is. So it doesn't lose its punch at the end of 200 plus yards. So yeah, if it's again stray wall cartridge people, this is something that they've got gel tests you guys can watch. Here's the Henrys that are chambered in it right now. So again, I just wish Henry would just focus on getting the guns out that people, are trying to get that are hard to find. But they got to keep current with what the industry pushes for ammo. I don't blame them. I mean, it's, if Remington comes to Henry and says, hey, we want you guys to be the first company that makes our cartridge, I can't blame them for making a rifle on that cartridge. I mean, we're here to promote the industry, right? We want guns, we want ammo, we want new innovation. I'm never going to say no,
I will. It's another one of those. This is a question nobody asks. There's already 350 Legend and 450 Bushmaster that resolves the issues with the stupid hunting laws that they've got. This is, a competition for them when we've had shortages of 450 Bushmaster in the past, and 450 Bushmaster and 350 Legend are kind of pricey. You want to get the market, find a way to make it effective, but make it for less money, or keep it on the shelf or things like that. I don't know that it's a good idea for them to pair it with Henry. Sure, you've got the name, and Henrys are reliable. But when you've got a bunch of hunters out there that are going, I'm not paying $1,000 for a lever action rifle, then buying this stuff for $55 a box, then I don't see how it's really going to take off. Now, if they get more companies on board making other rifles, like 450 Bushmaster at first, it was the big hype, but people were looking at some of the cost, and it took a little bit to take off. And as more companies started offering rifles, you've got single shot break opens that are fairly inexpensive and things like that, then I think it took off more. So this has the potential to do the same, but you've already got 2 cartridges out there that do the job. What, and somebody's going to nitpick like the most finite or just most precision of data on this. This gives you a 0.5% more of a whatever, dude. So if they want to make it and people want to buy it, once again, it's your hard-earned money in most cases. But this is a question that wasn't asked. So if it flops, I wouldn't be surprised. If it takes off, but it takes 4 years or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised at that either. But I just, when you aren't getting competitively priced rifles and ammunition out on the shelves and flooding the stores with this stuff. Why do you bother making something new? It's because the competition's making something new, and you got to kind of keep up with the competition. But if you're not able to, if you've had the standard product for decades and you can't even keep up with demand, you have no business getting into something new. It's just my opinion.
So Scottish American, thank you for pointing that out to me, buddy. Energy was on the next tab. It's 900. And Squib, you make a great point. I mean, it's like when I can't even get a basic standard 30-30 cartridge, you can't even keep up with demand on that. Why are you spending your time and energy making another one that's going to take up shelf space that my 30-30 could be sitting on, right? So 900 foot-pounds of energy at 200 yards. And you guys that are stray wall cartridge hunting guys, you'd have to look and see what the minimum energy requirement is for the ammo you run. But I mean, that I don't know how that compares to other larger caliber cartridges. I don't know how that compares to 450 Bushmaster, how that compares to 4570. You guys that reload this or run those rounds would probably know. Sounds like it'd be a pretty potent round. I mean, it's still running at a pretty good velocity at 200 yards also. So we have 900 foot-pounds of energy at 200 yards, which is what they're kind of talking about it, like on the website and stuff. They're saying that, well, this is what it has for, this is what it's going to be terminal out to 200 yards. Huh?
What cartridge is that based off of? What's the parent case?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. So 360 Buckhammer, at 200 yards, it's running about 1,500 feet per second with 800 or 900 foot-pounds of energy. I don't know what it's based off of, actually. I'll have to look and see if it's like its own new thing. That's the other thing, too, is if there's no parent case you can reload it from, there's a lot of guys that'll never consider it,
Right. I mean, is it a rimmed cartridge or is it rimless?
It is. I believe it's rimless, isn't it?
I've not heard anything about that.
So what it says, okay, so it's challenging the 350 Legend. And
that's got a rim.
Yeah,
that's got a rim. So they're probably making that out of 30-30 brass.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 30-30. They can't get 30-30 on the shelf, but they're gonna make this crap.
Parent case is 30-30. So there goes your 30-30 brass. Sorry, guys.
Hey, we know you guys have been asking for this stuff, but
yeah, a lot of guys think that these new cartridges are something else, But what I found in the past, especially with the last 5 years, there's a lot of these calibers that are overlapping a lot of the older calibers. They're just, I don't know, they're trying to put more chrome on a wheel and stick it back on in the market, I guess. But it doesn't make any sense to me, If you've got a 308 cartridge and you got this 360 Buckhammer, you're going to be writing this just about the same horsepower outline as the rest of them. So
like
I don't know.
2,100 feet per second, 2,100 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. And then 200 yards, it's, whatever I said, 1,300, 1,400 feet per second, running 800 or 900 pounds of energy. Tony says it's a blown out 30-30. So that's
that's what I thought.
And again, it's just another marketing thing to try to make it the next big thing that's going to catch on, like 6.5 Creedmoor, which has exploded in popularity. Love it or hate it, it's here to stay. A lot of companies making ammo for it, a lot of guns and different platforms chambered in 6.5, and I know I probably won't buy into a new caliber until it really starts to become mainstream. Like I got the 223 Valkyrie upper that I don't know if Bear Creek sent it to me or if I bought it, and that's basically just disappeared. Rich has it now. Rich has the 223 Valkyrie or 224 Valkyrie upper. He won it in one of our drawings, and I still got 2 boxes of ammo I got to give him. So I'll probably send that back with some of you guys if you're driving home from Thunder on the Prairie to give to him at some point. Chris, okay, so Scottish American says, like Chris said, they're hitting for straight wall states. 30-30 is a great round, but not able to hunt with it here, so they're trying to cater to hunters. So that could be part of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it does. I mean, it's a lever action hunting option in here in Ohio, whatever. But you can use 4570 here too. So I don't know. It's all going to depend. I mean, this we've been able to straight wall hunt here in Ohio for a long time now. Like I said, I chose to go with 450 Bushmaster. A lot of people went with 350 Legend. A lot of people still using 4570. So we'll just have to see. I personally think it's going to die, but we'll just have to see what it does.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that's got the same caliber characteristics as a 375 Winchester. You know, that's pretty much the same thing.
People have already bought their 350 Legend and 450 Bushmaster guns.
Yeah.
People already have the ammo. People already have the reloading stuff.
That's and that's the thing too. Like with me for 450, I mean, I can go all the way down to a 225 grain bullet and reload it. I can go up to the 250 grain. I think there's even a heavier one than that. For me, it's not. The only reason I filmed it, I had a lot of people asking me to do it before I went out, and it was content. But I don't have any desire to have it. But
I think if you get excited by new calibers, you'd like to try the newest and coolest thing to see how it works for you, and good for you. Go get it and try it. Like I said, we're never gonna not want to see these things. The other solution would be just move to Nebraska, where you can hunt with whatever you want as long as that's 223 on up, and then you don't have to worry about it. So just come here. And then you don't have to run straight wall. Don't spend your money on that. Just spend your money here. Come buy a home. Come live in Nebraska and come live the good life. So there we go. Roll call says we'll have to see what it does to animals. Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, if it's got some serious, I got to watch the ballistics gel test, which is just one metric of measurement of the efficiency of the round. It may not even be realistic, but I'm always curious to see what it does for wound cavity and its spiraling characteristics and the channel it makes. And, what does it do, right? Depth of penetration and stuff, which is always kind of interesting. But yeah, the big thing is going to be, does it deliver like they say it does at the distance they claim it does? So that's always an issue too. So you got to wonder about that. But Ozzy Orsborn says that Illinois is going to start allowing straight wall rifles this year. Can you even have guns in Illinois anymore? I thought there were no more guns in Illinois. I thought they took them away and replaced them with court guns or something. I don't know. So I'll have to see what happens here. Tony York says, yeah, Mike, but not semi-auto. New York Outcast says all a real man needs is a number 2 pencil, according to John Wick, right? All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We've been going for over 2 hours now. It's been a very fast 2 hours, probably the quickest caliber corner I remember sitting through. Chris, is there anything else you want to add about SHOT Show 2023? I know you're happy about all the support you got from all of our friends in the gun community with just helping you get through that event. You got a lot of content you're going to be releasing. Tell us whatever you want to tell us, man. You wrap up with whatever you want to wrap up with. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I got a ton of video. I had 4 cameras running while I was out there, and I had my son helping me film. So a lot of the videos, I don't go into a lot of detail and stuff. SHOT Show is very fast paced, so it's grab the gun, try to knock everything out within a couple minutes. There's only so much you can do in there. It's loud, it's noisy. There's always people waiting to get in your spot where you're at.
There's dudes running these ridiculously large backpacks all over the place. What the heck is in those backpacks? Mini kegs? My God, you look like you're going to go trekking up Everest. I'd go high speed, low drag if I was at SHOT Show.
Well, you get a lot of people too that are just in there to get all the swag.
I'd be running my
patches and stickers as fast as they can.
I'd be running a JanSport fanny pack with like my little cheap beater camera and an extra battery, and I'm done, man. I'm out there, man. I'm a Special Forces SEAL operator filmer. That's what I'd be doing. And so these guys got these, friggin' they turn and they like knock over you, like, people like, oh man.
Yeah, basically, in closing, I'll be cranking out a ton of content all this week.
Okay.
I'm editing as soon as the video's edited. I'm uploading them. I'm not putting them on a schedule. I'm just throwing up as quick as I get them done. And then Wednesday night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, I will have a recap show on SHOT Show. I probably won't talk a whole lot because we covered about everything here as far as on my end, but I will have She Fires, 2A We Stand, Milsurp Duo, Range Bros TV. Everybody that went to SHOT Show for the first time is going to be on the panel Wednesday night. So you'll get to hear what their experiences were and what they thought. So
cool.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's probably going to be one of the best shows that we've done. And Travis, I really appreciate you having me on and promoting this today.
No problem, dude.
I was excited to get home and get on here this morning. So.
Hey, man, you suggested, hey, do you mind if I, share, can I share my experiences? Yeah, I think it's awesome because I've never been there and I want to know what to expect. And if I do decide to go, my dad knows Vegas front to back. The guy goes all the time. So he knows Vegas, but if I do decide to go with my pops, it's nice to know what I'm getting myself into, what to expect, what kind of a strategy to have before you go into it. Because you don't want to get there and just get overwhelmed. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to spend 4 hours talking to 2 booths. You know, you got to have a game plan. You got to know what you want to do and try to execute it. So, yeah.
And I want to thank Ghost. I see he was out there in the side chat. He was a big help to me through all this, getting me out there and showing me the ropes. And I want to thank the side chat too for asking all the awesome questions today. Sorry I didn't go to some of the booths you guys wanted me to talk about, but like I said, you can only get so much done in a week there. It's chaos. So thank you again, Travis.
No problem, man. It's good. I appreciate you being here. Now you can finally go back to sleep. Try to. So yeah. All right, American Hillbilly. Anything you want to add or say or plug your channel or get your name known out there?
Yeah,
we have dozens watching. So
all right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on and great panel. Chris, I was really excited about today. I mean, you delivered. I mean, a lot of great information for us that didn't go or might want to go in the future. So I appreciate you. I just really enjoyed it. Having a great time on the side chat here. But anyway, other than videos coming up, I'm doing a live on Saturday night on my YouTube channel. It's at 9 Central, 10 Eastern time. So anyway, if you get a chance to go over there, it's I call it guns, beer, and therapy. So you can just imagine what kind of topics come out of there. So
imagine a place where you can go and be accepted to share your true feelings with other middle-aged men. There you go. Come join Guns, Beer, and Therapy.
You betcha. So we just try to have a fun time.
GBT podcast, baby. GBT podcast. There you go. It's all about the GBTs. What do you got going on tonight? Oh, I got a GBT session I got to go to. What about you? It's important. And again, not poking fun on anybody. I mean, seriously, but it is cool. It's a good show. I had a chance to check out the show, and I had a lot of fun talking with you guys and stuff. And we'll see what we can do. So yeah.
I just want to put out there, if anybody has any contact information for High Point, I'm really trying to get a hold of them, somebody to talk to. So, hit me up if you have any suggestions or anything like that. I'd sure appreciate it.
And again, you are a fan of their products. You've made a lot of content on their products. You do enjoy what they make, and it'd be cool to let you maybe expand a little bit, just show more of what they do,
my viewers really like it. So, I mean, like a lot of us, we cater towards our viewers, we try to give them what they want. And so, that's something that's just exciting. I mean, there for a while, I thought I was going to have to change my channel to High Point Hillbilly or something, but
Yeah, I mean, all I do is not all I do, but a lot of what I do are cleaning videos. That's a pretty good chunk of my content and stuff too. So yeah, I hear you, man. It's like you kind of start going in one particular direction, and but still it's cool because it's neat to see smaller channels showing off these products and talking about them, the good and the bad and the ugly of the products. And I think that's important for people to see. So you're doing us a public service, Hillbilly. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, getting rid of hard seltzer, I mean, that's I'm trying to do something for everybody.
When we say getting rid of, we're not talking about drinking it either. We're talking about just taking it off the face of this planet, just putting it back into the aquifer it came from. So
I did take a drink of the Mountain Dew
Hillbilly.
Okay. Oh my gosh,
Mountain Dew.
I literally had to pause the video. I thought I was going to throw up. I mean, stuff was so nasty. It
just sounds like my teeth would fall out just drinking it, dude. Mountain Dew. It was fruitcake flavored Mountain Dew. Right?
I thought about reviewing that, but I've never had fruitcake, so I didn't think the review would be objective. It just sounded disgusting.
A good fruitcake is actually a good fruitcake. Like a good rum cake with a lot of dried fruit. A good fruitcake is not bad if you can get a good one. I think I did review some fruitcake last year, if I'm not mistaken, from the Beatrice Baking Company. So a good fruitcake is good. A crappy fruitcake is horrible. A crappy fruitcake is like a door stopper. So just leave it in the vacuum seal and never take it out. So,
well, you also got to remember, like some of these fruitcakes might be 20 years old. They're just regifted back and forth.
That's another thing. It's really hard to accept them from another person.
You want to make sure you have a fresh one.
Don't ever go through a middleman. Just order direct from the distributor. So you're guaranteed to get something that's going to be tasty. And then you can get your own variety of it because there's so many varieties of fruitcake out there.
How the heck are you guys still on at this time?
Dude, yeah, Chris gave us a full debrief of SHOT Show, man. We've been having fun talking about guns coming out, the good and the bad and the ugly of firearms for 2023, and how we're all going to take out a second job to afford anything that's being released. So all right,
I don't think I want to buy any guns this year.
You say that every year. Don't even give me that. You've been saying that for as long as I've known you. So I'm not buying any guns this year. And then you're like, yeah, I bought 13 guns this year.
That's my plan. I never said that my plan becomes reality.
Okay, I know you want that. I know you want that Bond Arms AR-15 lever gun that they're coming out with. I know you're first in line for one of those. That's
I mean, no.
All right, man. All right. Well, we got to find another major world war and find something for you to go buy from it. So there you go. Single shot. You want to give us your final plug before we go?
Oh, try to give a shout out to everybody there on the chat. I didn't get that chance to say that earlier, so howdy to everybody there. Got a new acquisition to the gun shop, or to the gun safe.
Yeah.
I picked up a 75 by 55 Swiss K31.
Awesome.
And we're going to be doing a little bit of work with that. I've already got dies and brass and stuff coming for it, so we're going to have the ammunition. I picked up two boxes of factory loaded ammo, so we're going to have
PPU?
Those to test. What's that?
PPU?
Yep, PPU.
Yeah.
And
that original loading's about 175 grain, 308 diameter projectile.
Yeah, so well, I don't know. These are 165, and it's PPU soft point.
Yeah. I'm saying the original loading's 178 match grade projectile.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now it's a 308 diameter, so we're gonna play with that for a little bit if I can get a chance. And I apologize to folks. I know you're swinging by the channels and stuff, but I have just been so blasted busy here lately, and I don't get basically about a day and a half at home. And
I see how busy
matter
you
of fact,
are.
this last time I threw.
I see how busy you are.
I threw the laundry in the washer, washed it, threw it in the dryer. I threw it in the dryer and left it right there. It's still in the dryer. So, boy! But we'll definitely get things up and running again, I hope, so that we could get some videos out there. And I'm thinking about doing some of that shorts thing. So we'll see how things go. Take care, everybody. God bless. Thanks for the invite, Travis. And we'll catch you guys a little bit later.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you being here. Just real quick.
America moves by truck.
Always, man. Always. Shameless self-plug here in the comments. My tabletop review of a countertop. I posted the link if you guys want to watch that. That was the last video that I made at my house before I moved to my current city. Because I had to review the countertop because it's legendary, man. It's what I built the Travis B11 Empire on. So I did review an actual linoleum countertop. I've reviewed a Winter Storm. I've reviewed pretty much just about everything at this point. So, yep, just want to get it out there. Not saying they're good. I'm just saying I've done it. All right,
Have you reviewed a review?
Yes. I talked about the TFB coverage of the Yeet Cannon YC9 Gen 2. I talked about their coverage of it and what they had to say about the gun. So I did a review of a gun review. Yes, that has been done.
Have you done a review of one of your own reviews?
Every day is a review of my own review, Foos. I don't have to do that. But no, I should go back and do it. I make fun of myself all the time. I talk about the subpar audio and the horrible lighting. So I'm always critical of myself every day, Foos. Every day. It's a self-analysis. I come home and draw up rubrics of myself. I file TPS reports on myself daily. So, yep. Ozzy out there says he saw the video when it was new. Yeah, I featured that like 3 years ago. So that was a fun video to make. I mean, I honestly did it in like one take. I had no idea what I was going to say. How do you review a linoleum countertop? I made it work, boys. Firefighter 09100, anything you want to say before we go?
Not much other than my list of potential guns to buy this year, thanks to SHOT Show, has gone up. But Travis, have you reviewed a video game?
Let me think for a second here. I don't know. I even have coffee computers and more where I've done a lot of computer. That might be a new one. I might have to do a review of Destiny 2 and why I keep playing it, even though it's the same crap over and over again every year. It's like being a gun owner. It's you buy $60 worth of DLC every fiscal quarter, and nothing ever changes. It's like buying another Glock. It's the Glock of video games. Destiny 2 is the Glock of video games. If you've never played it, guys, it's like Halo. That's the closest thing I could describe it as. They basically send you through the same maps over and over and over again, yet I still keep coming back for more. So I don't know. That's a good one. All right, you got me, Firefighter. I got to do a video game review.
Or maybe Mario Kart. I mean,
oh yeah, dude. I've Mario Kart's been a lifetime passion of mine. So beating it on Rainbow Road, beating Mario Kart on Rainbow Road was the greatest moment of my life because that video game will cheat so bad to get you to not come in first place. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely immoral what Nintendo did for the programming on that video game. So that's just my passion coming across as a gamer. So just want to let you know.
Could be worse, Travis. You could be stuck playing repeatedly Star Trek Online like I am.
Yep. Just never ends. It never ends. All right. Firefighter 09100, anything else you want to say? You want to plug anything or mention anything before we go?
Not really.
All right, cool. Let's see. M. Gabriel's talking about the cover sheets of my TPS reports. Yeah, the copier's not working, so we're going to take it out in the field. All right, Squiblift, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, if you ever get out here for SHOT Show or any other shows, or you have an opportunity to take a trip to Vegas, or you've always wondered what it's like, don't always go off of what you see in TV shows and movies, and don't always go off of what somebody who does nothing but come out here, drink, gamble tells you. There's a lot more to do in Las Vegas. It can be really pricey, or you can do it affordably. It just depends on what you're doing. And for some people, it doesn't matter if it's $20 or $20,000. It's pricey. So there's no explaining to that sort of mentality. But if it's a working trip, I can understand you've only got so much time and you're spending the money to come out. But if there's any way you can make some time to do something else, there are so many fun things to do in the Las Vegas area. There's traffic. Once you've done it a few times, you get used to it. There's homeless people. It's there. It's not like San Francisco, but it's just, it's there. There's things like that, right? They don't have constitutional carry here yet, but there are a lot of things that might seem like it's just I don't know, they call it Sin City, right? But it's not necessarily that, unless you want it to be that. If you want to come here to, to end up homeless, living in the flood tunnels, then that, hey, whatever. But there's a lot to do out here. But I understand too that when it's a working trip, you've only got so much time. So, going out of town, some of the things in the area, whatnot, might just not seem conducive. But in my opinion, it's a good place to vacation. I wouldn't bring young children here. But older kids, it's fine, and it's something to say, all right, you went out there and did it. But if you kind of go into it with a closed mind, then you're not going to have a good time. It's not all about. People think you've got to dump $10,000 at the gambling table just to be here, and that's not true.
Yeah, my dad goes to Vegas constantly, and they mainly go for the restaurants, the food. They go visit places like the Pawn Stars place or Rick's Restoration or all those places counting cars and stuff. He likes to go visit those places that are based out of Vegas and stuff. And they got friends that live in Nevada. So there's a lot you can do. They have a good time. And they just go play like the penny slots, the nickel slots. That's all they do when they go out there. So, yeah, they don't go too crazy playing table games or, spending a ton of money because it is expensive just in general, All right. And then finally, Foos, anything you want to say before we go?
Nope.
Okay, then. No. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. Let's give a little shout out on the YouTube side. There was a comment about Facts, and I didn't cover anything from Facts and Firearms. I didn't see any videos on them. I'm sure a lot of stuff will be coming out this week, and maybe we can do like another What's New from SHOT this week episode and just talk about anything we saw, or we can go into different topics. It doesn't matter. We've been talking SHOT for a couple weeks here now, so I think we're definitely having a good time. There's like an 8.6 blackout. We actually did a show, I think, on 8.6 blackout like a year ago when it was first premiered and they first talked about it. We covered it. So if you're ever kind of curious if we ever covered a topic, just type in Caliber Corner space and then whatever topic you want, and YouTube will suggest it, or Travis P11 and then the topic in the search box, and the video will probably come up if we've discussed it, which is pretty cool. So All right, so I think that's about it. Tony says, does anybody see Jimmy out at Vegas? Squib, I know you've met Jimmy before, but I haven't heard if anybody met up with Jimmy at all.
I didn't get a hold of him about meeting him because I didn't have time while I was out. So
yeah,
yeah, I was actually at Bass Pro Shop 2 nights ago. I was thinking about him, like, oh yeah, this is where we filmed that video. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool beans, man. All right, guys. So I think that's about it. Let's give a little shout out on the YouTube side. I appreciate the panel being here today. We had a good discussion, and Chris for being here. So thank you very much. I appreciate you taking your time out of your sleep to be here. I know you got a billion things you need to work on, and not to mention get caught up from your job, I bet. So let's see. Backwoods says, have you done a video on the Canic Elite Combat yet? No, Backwoods, I have not. Chris, real quick, which model is that? The Canic Elite Combat?
I've just got a short video of it when I shot it at I believe that was the second, I can't remember if it was the first or second video at the Bullet Ranch when we were doing the when we were shooting full auto, but I did take one out on the, it's a really nice gun. But yeah, I've shot one. But it's just like a little 1 minute clip in the video. Okay.
So the TP9 Elite Combat. So it looks like is it a compact version of the SF? Well, it's got looks like it's got an optics. Does it have an optics cut on the top? It's got an optics cut on the top. Looks like it's about G19 size. Is that right? Yeah. 749 for that one. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking gun too. I have the only Canic I had a TP9. I don't know which one I had, the TP9 Elite Compact or whatnot. If you check my channel, I did some videos on it. Really good gun. Good trigger, good value. I mean, it was only about $349. I got the triple black version that they offered instead of having the tungsten slide. It's got the all black slide to it. So, and Bjorn says, are you able to review the PSA STG 44? No, I'd have to contact them and see if they'd send me a T&E copy, if they'd even do that. I've never actually reached out to PSA before for any kind of products from them. I've just bought them. So, STG, I'd have to find one or borrow one from somebody that has one, or Foos will probably buy one, so I'll just meet up with him and film a video on it.
Hey, now, so that STG, like, what caliber would you get it in?
They're doing 5.56, 300 blackout, 762 by 39, and 8mm Kurtz.
No. What caliber would you get it in?
Oh, God. Probably 762 by 39, because that's what I have the most of for ammo sitting around.
I would get, if, like, money was not an option, I would get two of them.
Get one in 8mm Kurtz and then another one in, like, 5.56, or what?
I'd probably get in, like, 300 blackout or something. That's close to it.
Yeah.
But not 8 Kurtz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with the 300 blackout just because I love reloading 300 blackout. So.
Oh, it's a great caliber. I've had a 300 blackout pistol and a 16-inch before. Great caliber. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fun.
Yep. You can get like bolt actions in it also. Good hunting round. Ton of options for grain weight, subsonic, supersonic, and whatnot. So, yep. Okay, so shout out over there to Bjorn, Tony York, Ozzy Orsborn, Backwoods 1000. I'm sorry, Backwoods 1010. Faride. Hopefully, I'm not pronouncing it wrong. I think Faride is friends with Bjorn. I could be wrong there, but just make sure I got that right. New York Outcast is out there today. Calaveras 32 Special. Chris is pulling double duty over there and over here. MCK is in the house. Rich White, M. Gabriel. Quest for the Perfect Load is out there also. Casey Dolph watching today too. Let's see. Kevin Jung out there watching with us. Mr. Knives is out there. Roll Call 219. Scottish Americans watching today. G23's in the house. Ghost Tactical joining in. Thank you, Ghost, for checking out the show today. I know a lot of you are just watching on the side too. Thank you for watching in the background if you are. Let's see. Krabby Turtle's out there also. Travis T's in the house. Man, we got a lot of people watching today. We had Mountain View out there. M. Gabriel. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being there. I didn't see any tacos and french fries. I might have missed it, but tacos and french fries is usually out there too. Tommy Gunn. Oh, there's tacos and french fries. Okay. Tommy Gunn's in the house. Bill Beam out there also watching. 04 Hemi. Appreciate you being here. Squibload's out there. We got the whole Squib Eye Empire with us today too, which is a good thing. And Gun Snob's watching. Yeah, Tactical Fud's in the house. Hillbilly up out there also, and also with us. Sam of Anarchy 92. All right, I think that's it. X Adam 1 in the house too, buddy. Thanks for watching, man. I do appreciate it. And you guys, New York Outcast, thanks for watching. Oh, last thing, don't forget. go over to rnldisplays.com and you can get your RNL Displays gun display. They are so awesome. They don't even have to go to SHOT. They don't have to show their brilliance in engineering because it just is. So rnldisplays.com, the fine furniture for displaying your AR-based firearm, and then also yes, they are Glock compatible, just to get that out there. They sell pistol stands and PCC stands, so get over to rnldisplays.com. Make sure you use discount code TravisP11, which is going to get you 10% off plus an additional 5%. So that gets you 15% off if you use discount code TravisP11. So do check it out. Again, we're trying to help Rob, be able to afford keep eating those salads every day, and lettuce is going up in price, so we got to sell those stands for Rob. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching today, everybody. We'll see everybody next week at 8 a.m. Central Time. Not sure what the topic is, but again, on behalf of Chris from the 740 and Hillbilly Up and Single Shot and Firefighter 09100 and Squiblip and Foos, and also Rich White, who was with us also. Thanks for watching. Y'all have yourselves a great weekend. Have fun. Be